Hey.
Hey, we live now, really.
Hey, we live now, really. Really? Hey, what's going on? Welcome back, my beautiful people. Hey, how you doing out there? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying blessed. I hope that you really out here living your best life, because guess what? That's what you deserve. You deserve to really be out here living your best life. You deserve to really be out here on the ground. You deserve everything that you're going to get and more. I want you to understand this, though. Before we get started, I got to have you do me a favor. All right, do me one favor. Please, please, please do me this favor. All right, make sure you're sending this to your mama, your daddy, your best friend of another friend, Lit Johnny, Lit Timmy. Don't forget about Lit Susie, too. Don't forget about Josh, who just moved up the street. You know, he just moved across the street away from Lit Susie. And he said, hey, I need some gems. So don't be keeping all these gems to yourself, baby. But, hey, we back down like SmackDown. We back like we never left. And, hey, I got a question for you. Like, for real. I really need you to answer me this question. Like I'm dead serious. All right, really think about it. Really examine what I'm about to ask you. Did you miss me? Hey, because I miss you, man. Hey, we back. Like I said, hey, ain't no better time than the present, man. Ain't no time like the present. And, hey, if you ain't having fun, if you ain't living, then what you doing? All right, let's go ahead and get into what we got going on today, though. We got a Gemz. When I say gems, a Gemz packed episode for you today. You know, we don't shy away from any subjects, if I'm being honest. We talk about everything. We don't sugarcoat nothing. We ain't going to, beat around the bush. We going to always approach the elephant in every single room we enter. You understand me? So with this first topic that we going to get into, you see what the title say. Nolan Wells. His death leaves more questions than answers. And if you haven't heard about this story, it has been picking up a lot of steam. I mean, the story was on the Breakfast Club yesterday, and this morning I woke up and I saw it on Good Morning America. Like, this story has been picking up steam since the day that it really happened. You're seeing viral videos go on online about the story. You're seeing a lot of people comment on the story. You're seeing a lot of inconsistencies within this story as well. And that's why we got to talk about it, because this might be one of them ones, man. This might be one of them stories that has everybody on edge, everybody at the edge of their seat, and everybody wanting to understand and wanting to know what really happened, what really went down. Because I smell a little something fishy. I'm not going to lie to you. But regardless, like I said, you know, today we get into the elephant in the room, and we're going to talk about it. So we get into Nolan Wells. Rest in peace, rest in heaven, my guy. We're going to get into LeBron James. Yes, LeBron. Bron. Hey, everybody speaking on your name right now, my guy. How do you feel about it? Do you appreciate it? How do you think things will end up turning out with Bron? Because there's a lot of people saying a lot of different things. And, you know, we got more people talking. So guess what we got to do? We got to go ahead and get into it. You understand me? So talking about Bron. Then we got to talk about that boy, Jalen Brunson. That boy, Jalen Brunson, really, when I say he out here. Bruh, Jalen Brunson just had a jersey sale for over $1 million. His Game 1 Finals jersey just sold for over $1 million. Crazy. In the NBA, there's a thing where you cannot keep your jersey, you know, and with Jalen Brunson not being able to keep his jersey, guess what? It was sold and it was auctioned off. Probably went to a charity or went to a charitable donation. In the NFL, everybody get to keep their jersey. That's why you see all these jersey swaps, because at the end of the day, that jersey is yours. Every jersey that you put on in the NFL, it can ultimately be yours. If you want to give it to the Hall of Fame, you can give it to the Hall of Fame. If you want to give it to the team, you can give it to the team, but it is at your liberty to do so. You have that option. Guess what? In the NBA, you don't have that option. You got to get an NBA or jersey. It'd be like that. You feel me? But hey, y'all boys in the NBA getting paid, so ain't no complaining. But we also got to talk about another NBA topic. Everybody out here, you know, always speaking anonymously. So we got another anonymous comment talking about Donovan Mitchell didn't deserve his money. Interesting. Guess what? We're going to have to get into that too. But without further ado, did you miss me? Because I missed you. All right. Let's go ahead and get into it. like I said, Gemz packed episode for you today. It's only right that we go ahead and talk about it. It's only right that we go ahead and get into it. It's only right that we go ahead and get the party started. You understand me? All right. But, you'll know, my friend, without further ado, without waiting, without contemplating, I want to show you the real reason why I got interested into this Nolan Wells topic. To be quite honest with you, it came across my timeline. And I was like, hold on, what happened? So if you don't know Nolan Wells, he is a 18-year-old young man, I should say, who tragically passed away due to a potentially, or what they're reporting now, a drowning incident. With this drowning incident, Mr. Wells went on a 4th of July extravaganza, not even a extravaganza. He went to go live his best life, if we being honest. He went to go live his best life with, some friends. Nolan Wells, him and his pals, him and his friends, they went to, go out to an island. This island was called Horn Island. And, it was a group of boys going out, living their best life. In an incident like this, you don't expect no foul play. You don't expect anything bad to happen. You don't really expect, the worst case scenario. You don't. But in this instance, the worst case scenario happened. In this instance, a day that was supposed to be fun, a day that was, or a weekend actually, that was meant to be where kids were living their best lives and just enjoying themselves, that ended up being a tragic day. America's 250th birthday ended up turning tragic because we had potentially a group of teenagers or a group of boys potentially, get into an argument, get into an altercation, and one of the boys didn't end up returning. One of the boys did not return. So, with that being said, we're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. If you don't know what the boys look like, if you've been living under a rock, I'm going to go ahead and remove that rock for you. These are the group of boys. All right. I don't know the specific names of each male pictured in this picture, but the male in question that passed away and lost his life is my male right here, my young black man. First off, I just want to say this: everything doesn't have to do with race. Every white person is a racist. Every white person, at the end of the day, isn't a bad person. At the end of the day, you have to understand that, it's okay to have white friends. It's okay to have black friends. It's okay to have Asian friends. It's okay to have Mexican friends. It's okay to have Venezuelan friends. It's okay to have Portuguese friends. It's okay to have German friends. It's okay to be friends with any and everybody. It's okay to have you a yellow or a purple friend. You understand me? Let's get that out of the way right now. It's okay to have white and black friends. It's okay to have a whole group of white friends, a whole group of black friends. It's okay. All right? That's not the topic at hand, and that's not really what we're going to be getting into. We're not getting into the racial topic. We're not. But we are going to get into the root of the issue. We are going to get into breaking down what really happened in this story. Because, like I told y'all, we don't hide away from any topics. We don't hide away from any subjects. And this is a topic, and this is a subject that, hey, at the end of the day, we don't know what happened. We weren't there. We weren't present. You understand that? At the end of the day, we are oblivious to what happened. We can only, be spectators to it. We can only, speculate on the situation and what happened. And with us being able to only speculate, with us only being able to see, some videos online, being able to see a picture like this floating around the internet, we have to draw up our own conclusions until more things come out from the investigation and more things come out from, said parties on what happened and from the police department. Right now, the police department is saying that there was no foul play in this incident. The police department is saying that he just simply drowned. They're saying it's pretty much an open and shut case. His friend said they didn't see him. He disappeared at 3 o'clock, but it was rumored that Everybody and people were still seeing him at 7 o'clock that same day. His friend said that he left his phone on the boat. He didn't want to take it. What teenage boy, if he's standing back kicking it with a young lady, what teenage boy gonna want to leave his phone behind? Leave his keys behind? I'm just asking. I'm just saying. I'm asking for a friend. What teenage boy gonna want to do that? Or at least, at the very least, leave his phone. You at least gotta have your phone. But we're gonna get into all that. We're gonna get into the heavy topics. We're going to peel this back. We're going to peel the layers back. We're going to really get into what's going on and why this story right here is going to capulate America. And why this story right here, hey, it's going to be one of them ones, man. This story right here, whether you want it to be or you don't want it to be, this story right here is not going to shape the next few months. But I promise you, hey, if it's any foul play that went on, this story right here, man, oh man, it's gonna get serious out here if what is rumored to be actually is true. So, how did I learn about this story? How am I just finding out about this when it happened last week on Saturday? Well, I saw a video on my timeline. If I wouldn't have saw this video on my timeline, I probably would have never known anything about it. I probably wouldn't even be covering it right now as we speak. But the video came across my timeline. Right now, it's only speculation. Even some of the things that he say in this video that I'm about to show you, it might be a couple of things that's already been proven false, but there's a lot of things that's starting to add up. And this was a video that triggered my interest, that triggered me into wanting to, hold on. What's to this? What's really going on? What's really behind the scenes and what really happened? So without further ado, let's get into it. What you got to say, big dog, and why did you why did you pique my interest with what you were saying?
Nolan fucking Wells. What in the actual fuck is going on down in Mississippi? So listen, if you got a little time, let me walk you through this shit, because this shit's fucking wild. I try to stay out of it until you get all the details, but since they're circling the fucking wagons and refusing to help authorities, I'm going to tell you what I think is going on. This picture right here, you will see Nolan and 4 of his friends that went on a boat party on July 4th. Only 4 of them returned without Nolan. His cell phone back.
So 4 of them went. He meant only 3 of them returned.
To his mother. What the fuck? Claiming they haven't seen him since 3 p.m. These people right here remember seeing them partying and throwing beer cans and causing a ruckus.
So let's get into it. What he said in the first part. 4 friends was on a boat, as you saw in the previous picture I showed you. 4 friends were on the boat. Only 3 friends returned. 4 friends in total on the boat. Only 3 friends returned. Actually, no, I'm lying. Because somebody obviously had to take this picture. But you get the point. Next thing that he said. There was accounts that people said that, well, actually not accounts, the people that were with him. So the people in the picture that I just showed you, they said that we left Nolan at the island at 3 o'clock. We last saw him at 3 o'clock. But as you can see, we were parked right next to them, and we had left. We had parked right next to them. So you see this one right here? This is the one we're reading. We had parked right next to them, and we were right there in sight. We left at 7:30, and they were still there. We parked right next to him, and he was nowhere in sight when we left at 7:30. So where did he go? So they was there, but they said they ain't seen him since 3 o'clock. What happened between 3 o'clock and 7:30? I'm curious.
Ruckus and starting fights all the way up until 7:30 p.m. You want me to believe a friend of yours that you've known for years goes missing in Mississippi for hours and hours and hours, and you not only don't look for him, but then you go home without him, without calling the cops, and you just bring his phone back to his fucking mom. And then there's this video right here.
As you can see, it's an argument going on.
Did you hear it? There is clearly an argument going on shore where they clearly say, fuck you, motherfucker. You're not getting on the boat. Even though they didn't have time to call the police or start an investigation right away, they had plenty of time to deactivate all their fucking social media. Not to mention, these little fuckers' parents are judges, doctors, and other high-ranking members of the community. Let me see if I can play out what exactly fucking happened here. Noah goes out on a boat with 4 of his friends. There is some sort of argument on shore. If a fight ensued, took him back out on the boat. I allegedly believe they did something to him. Then came back.
These people?
30 p.m. have witnesses saying you were there, remember. Then brought his belongings back to his fucking mom. Look, I hope I'm fucking wrong here, but things aren't adding up. None of it makes fucking sense. None of it adds up to something benign happened. We all need to be saying his fucking name. Even if they didn't, fuck each and every one of them for abandoning their friend, not even searching for him so that they could drink and party the rest of July 4th away. Be careful who you choose for friends. I promise you, the only way a snake can fucking bite you is if it's right fucking next to you. Rest in peace, Nolan.
So, that was a video that piqued my interest in this story. That was a video that kind of got my attention to say, hold on, what are you talking about? So then, of course, we all got the internet. What did I do? I went ahead and said, you know what? Hold on, I got to find more about what's going on with this story. Like, hold on. Nolan Wells, you was a high school football player. You said that you can swim. You was in college about to go into your second season. You feel me? You were prominent. You were an athlete. You feel me? You probably know how to swim a little bit. You feel me? Even if you ain't the best swimmer. And then you just so suddenly drown. And then you're on a boat with 3 or 4 of your friends. And they don't know what happened to you because they left you with another girl. But the girl that they left you with at the island said that she went back or that he went back with them. So y'all told the police that, hey, we don't know what happened to Nolan. We don't know. We left him at the island with this girl. But then the police talked to the girl. And when they talked to the girl says, no, he left with them at 3 o'clock. And then they ended up coming back to the island at 7, but Nolan wasn't with them. Hold the fucking phone. Hold the phone. What really happened? That's why we got to get into it, y'all. That's why we got to talk about it. So guess what? I got another video for you. And there were some details left out of this story. But guess what? There won't be any details left out of what I'm about to show you now. So stay tuned. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Next
Earlier
video.
this morning, the parents of Nolan Wells went on a few different morning shows with their attorney, Ben Crump, and shared some different details that not a lot of people had. So in this video, I edited down one of their interviews and just kept the parts that would be important to the case and added a few different things to kind of round up the situation, because I think that this sheds light on some of the situation, but it also makes it a little more confusing.
All the boys got together, stayed the night, 4th of July, they launched the boat, they went to the island, and that was that. I was expecting to, hey, we're back, like he normally does. Didn't happen.
One of the common misconceptions is that Nolan went to the island with just these 3 friends, when in fact, they were accompanied by his best friend. He was just on another boat. And that friend is Javon Williams. During the search for Nolan, a reporter actually spoke to Javon, and this is what they got from him. Wells headed to Horn Island on Saturday with friends. His best friend, 17-year-old Javon Williams, said he was supposed to be on the same boat, but it filled up. Williams rode out on a different boat, but he saw Wells on the island. He believed that he saw Wells for the last time after 4 p.m. on Saturday. While on Horn Island, Williams said Nolan was hanging out with a girl and chatting with another group of friends in the crowd. Remember, Horn Island is a popular hangout spot. It's 4th of July weekend. As you can see, there's a lot of people hanging out on this island, and I'm sure they have many different friend groups. Now, this next part is interesting.
Thanks.
Both young men left their phones on the boat that Wells rode out on. Remember, Javon and Nolan each arrived on different boats. So Javon obviously went to the boat that Nolan was on. and then they went over to the island, right? Because they both left their phones there. Now, I made a video talking about why these guys would leave their phone on their boat because there's a body of water between the boat and the island. It makes sense. And a lot of people couldn't understand that. But this is also interesting. Javon later retrieved his phone, which means before he left and left on the other boat, right, he got his phone from the boat that Nolan was on. So what happened there? Did he check up on Nolan? Interesting. And then, of course, Nolan's mother later found her son's phones through location services, right?
Get a phone call around 11, 4th of July. Hey, have you talked to Nolan? And I'm like, no, where's he at? So then my friend Tashima was so helpful in tracking his phone down because everyone was looking at the Snapchat location because all the kids follow each other. But I was looking at Life 360 and I'm like, well, I don't understand because I'm literally looking at his phone like it's at someone's house. So thankfully, my friend did go grab the phone for us.
Now, that last part is really important. Remember, the phone was left on the boat and the mother was tracking his location the entire time using Life 360, which tracks your location in real time. And remember, the only way the friends could track his location is through Snapchat. But Snapchat, unless you granted special access, it's only going to track your location when you have the app open.
Her two sons, Jalen and Javon, like they grew up together. They played city.
And then this is random, though, if we being honest. This is random. And this is what I got to comment on. I don't know why Snapchat allows y'all to keep each other's location like that. I don't want y'all to know where I'm at. But if you put it on, you got a big friend group, y'all all in high school, you're kicking. I mostly see high schoolers use it. I mostly see also people in college use it. I never use it because at the end of the day, only my mama got my location. I'm not going to lie to you. To this day, she's the only one who ever's got my, even when my females want it, I tell them, hey, be like that. We got to be in kind of incognito sometimes. Got to move like a thief in the night. But I don't know. I always just thought that was a weird feature that Snapchat had on their phone. But in this case, potentially it worked out, or potentially it's going to, lead to something else. Guess we'll find
They league
out.
sports together. When they got into school, they played sports together. And so she was like, hey, okay, the boys were pulling up the location from Snapchat. So the Snapchat location looks completely different than the Life 360 location. So when I pulled up Life 360, it was different. It was showing everywhere the phone had been. I was like, well, it's showing that he's back on land. Like, I'm not. He's like, but no, he didn't come back with us.
So that would explain why the mother's not seeing his location on Snapchat. The friends are not seeing his location on Snapchat. But on Life 360, she can see his location. Now, the mother said she sent a friend to get Nolan's phone. Where did she find it? Did she find it in the boat? Did the friends have it on them? Were they trying to hide it? That's very important because it would really kind of fill in a lot of blanks that we have, because a lot of people are assuming that the friends were kind of hiding the phone.
Who called you first initially, and how well do you know the people that Nolan was hanging out with that day? How familiar are you with them and their families?
So their families, we have not met. So Warren was the one who made the phone call. And he did contact the Coast Guard as well, which I know there's some discrepancies now with that.
Now, the discrepancy was that the sheriff's office said that they contacted the Coast Guard on the morning of July 5th, right, the day after. But Warren, the friend, right, that called and asked where he was at, actually reported him to the Coast Guard missing on July 4th.
The mother of one of the boys who was with Nolan apparently posted on social media that Nolan made a decision to stay on the island and then return inland later with another group of friends. Were you made aware of that plan beforehand? Is that something that Nolan would have done or would do often?
Now, I'm sure all of us are familiar with the
Yeah, because I'm gonna let him
letter
finish.
that Warren's
I'll say
mother
the
put
comments.
out talking about the situation. And the mother released a statement talking about a bunch of other things. But the important part is she said that Warren saw Nolan last around 3 p.m. on July 4th and said that they left around 4:30 when the boat was taken on water. Apparently, there was an issue with the bilge pump. They said that Nolan made the decision to stay on the island and return inland later with another group of friends. Now, I'm wondering why Javon's not being mentioned in any of this, because he went with him too. And the only reason why they weren't together was because they didn't have room on that boat. So, interesting.
No.
No, he wouldn't. Nolan was always taught to stay with the group. If you be with me, you come back with me.
You think he got left behind then?
Yes. I don't believe he decided to stay on the island by himself. It just doesn't, that's not his character.
Attorney Crump, you have a lot of questions about what happened.
I mean, would he stay on the island for a little Betty? A little fine shot out here. A little fine shot. You feel me? How y'all say? Potentially. But if all my homies leaving on a boat, I mean, unless she finna give me a ride back, I would rather probably just, hey, let me get your Snapchat, let me get your number or whatever, let me get your Instagram, hey, and I'll hit you up later. let's get out of here. I'm not going to stay back with a girl I just met and the people I don't even know. I'm just saying, but let's continue.
Ranging from the fact that the police very quickly declared that they didn't see any evidence of foul play, but then said that they were now investigating, to the timeline, the idea of where the phone could potentially be. Help me understand.
Vlad, there are so many glaring contradictions, and that's why so many people all across America are chiming in saying this is not adding up. I mean, you have them saying he was talking to a young lady, and she said that he said, I'm going to get back on the boat with the boys. Well, the boys say he said that, no, I'm going to stay with her.
Now, this is the alleged girl, right? A lot of he said, she said. Now, she's saying, again, that he said he was going to go back with a group of friends.
I mean, which is it?
Hey, hold on. Okay, hey, little Nolan. Hey, he said he wanted a little snow bunny. Hey, nothing wrong with it. Excuse my French, but hey, you know, he said he wanted him a little something out here. Ain't nothing wrong with it. So this is the key, though. This is going to be the key witness in the story. This girl right here will end up being one of the key witnesses in this entire story, if I'm being honest with you. And the reason why she's going to be a key witness is because she is the woman in question. She is the one that the boys said, hey, he stayed behind. He didn't come back with us. He stayed behind so he can do what? So he can talk to her. Right? So if he stayed behind so he can talk to her, but she's saying, no, he left with y'all. Why would she lie if she just met him? You feel me? She probably, hey, you know, if we being honest, you know, let me go ahead. Hey, she probably had a little jungle fever, you know, a little something like that. Cause she like, nah, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, you know, hey, take down my number. I'll see you around. You know? But why would she lie? She has no reason to lie. You know? Just saying. But regardless, let's let them continue. Let's let them finish.
She's saying, again, that he said he was going to go back with a group of friends.
I mean, which is it? And then on top of that, you talk about this video that's out there that shows this apparent argument going on where Nolan says, where's my freaking phone? What are you freaking doing? And then his phone turns up missing. I don't know any 18-year-old, if you go with their story that he said he was going to stay behind, I'm going to leave my cell phone behind. It's not adding up. And so those are the things that his mother and father are saying, we're not accepting this. He was a college athlete. He was in superb shape. And so he's a good swimmer. And you see the video of all those people out there. If he's drowning, nobody's going to help.
Facts. Because you got to think about it. If it's a holiday, 4th of July, people probably, I don't know if the island, maybe if you can be visible or land. I know people ain't popping fireworks on the island, but potentially. So you got to wait until at least get dark out. People probably out there damn near not all night, but you ain't probably leaving till about 9, 10, 11. So if my man is drowning, I'm pretty sure it might be a boat or two still left around and that potentially could have saw him, don't you think? Y'all just gonna let somebody drown? No. As humans, we have instincts. As humans, we have that, you know, fight or flight in us. We see somebody in trouble, first thing we're gonna do, let's go try to help. If we can, if we're able to. So ain't nobody going to just float past him, man, if they see him drowning. Or even if you saw his body floating. Because that's going to be another key part.
But the video that you're talking, sorry now, the video that you're talking, go ahead.
I was going to say, you reposted that video. Now, the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, they are calling for people to send in any videos or anything that they may have seen. What are they communicating with you about the investigation and what they are getting from people?
They haven't communicated much at this point. In fact, his mother, as she said, they had to track down the cell phone, and she can talk about the deleted messages that are very concerning to her.
Now, what's interesting is that they haven't given the phone to the sheriff's department yet. And I'm sure they're going to need that for an investigation. How are the cops supposed to figure this out if they can't extract information off of the phone? Check out this clip from Good Morning America.
At this time, we do not have the cell phone that they speak of, and we've never had a cell phone. It is, to my understanding, that we requested the cell phone for an extraction.
Because it's...
So the reason why they didn't give the police the cell phone, because the police automatically said, oh, this is just a drowning. This is the state of Mississippi. It's Ku Klux Klan's men and organizations everywhere in Mississippi. The history of Mississippi and their justice system, if we being honest, it speaks for itself. So the parents They took the initiative at the beginning when they probably had so much trauma and so many things going on, where they went to go get the phone first from his friends before the police got it. They saw that it was deleted messages within the phone, because you probably know, you want to know what deleted messages are probably on the phone? Probably some from his son sending them messages, or some from their son texting somebody at some point during that night. Because they can tell some way, somehow, that those messages are deleted. So it's a good thing that they have the phone, because now they're going to use their own private investigators, and then they're going to also try to uncover those deleted messages before they give it to the police. And once those uncovered deleted messages are recovered, then you can give the phone to the police, because then here's all the evidence. We have nothing to hide. But we want to make sure that y'all do this in a fair way and you actually investigate it, instead of just saying this is a drowning. Let's continue, though. Maybe they'll answer this.
Relevant.
next.
All of it is relevant to finding out how Nolan Wells ended up dead.
Let me ask you really quickly on that video that you posted. Are you sure that that is Nolan's voice that we can hear on the video?
And there are kids. Kids are talking, and kids are always talking that there was an argument. So
Now, that guy asked a very good question, because that's been my question. How do you know that the voice in this video is him? It's almost impossible to tell. And you can see Mr. Crump kind of stumbled over his words. And I'm going to play the video for you guys, and you let me know if this is clear-cut evidence that this is Nolan Wells. Now, that's obviously not clear-cut at all.
we have independent investigators doing it, and we get an independent autopsy. Colin Kaepernick paid for his body to be flown up to Washington, D.C. from Mississippi because his parents have some distrust when you think about the history of Mississippi.
Oh, yes. And Christine, going back to that cell phone, you said you were able to recover it.
Yes.
So you saw clear signs that there were deleted
So there were
conversations?
definitely concerns.
If we haven't done a phone extraction from the police officers, how are they recovering without doing some sort of autopsy? How are they?
So I just wanted to show y'all that, because this is somebody that is recovering this and he's somewhat neutral. But with him being neutral, you know, he's also a little biased too, because he obviously, you know, trying to make sure his side don't look crazy on this. But let's get into this just a little bit more, because there is more. There is more. They wiped their social media accounts. They say they didn't see anything. Why? Something ain't adding up. Something ain't making sense. But let's continue. Whoa. Feds know they listening, boy. That's like the third time that my phone had just turned on randomly from just something. So anyway, let's continue. I know the feds listening. It'd be like that. Y'all probably watching too. But hey, let's go ahead and continue though. Because this story, when I tell you, it gets a little crazier. When I tell you things are going to continue to get a little interesting. Let's figure out why.
We know that he was with his friends. They went out on Horn Island, as Charles said. He was the only black teenager that was there. And, you know, all of them came back safely on the boat with his cell phone, Harvey. But Nolan's body was found washed up on the shore on Monday morning. His family is not accepting that it was an accidental drowning.
Because if it was an accidental drowning, if your friends returned that night, that Saturday night, without you, how come your friends probably ain't stay out the whole night just trying to look for you? Or if not stay out the whole night, how come those friends, these same friends in this picture, didn't report that you were missing, that they left you at the island, they haven't heard from you? The friend, the other African-American friend, who rowed the other boat, he said essentially that he was missing. He reported it because he didn't hear from his best friend that he was supposed to be linking up with. Let's continue, though. What else you got to say?
They haven't been told anything, but that's been the suggestion. And they're not accepting that because Nolan was a college football player. He was a superior athlete. He was in great fitness and condition. And so for them to try to say, well, we got his phone, but we don't know where he's at, and then he turns up dead, they are not accepting it. And there are so many questions, so many contradictions.
I know there's one friend, a young woman who has come forward and has spoken to the police, and I'm wondering if she's spoken to you and how her version of events differ from what the other friends have said.
She hasn't spoken to us, but we know her statement that she released publicly. She said that she was talking to Nolan, and then Nolan said, well, I'm going back to the boat with the guys I came with. That's her version. She said that he did not leave with her, that he went back and got in the boat with the other boys. Well, the boys say that when they was talking to Nolan, he said he wasn't going to get in the boat with them, that he was going to stay with her, stay behind with her. Their statements contradict one another, and that is something that's very troubling. On top of the fact that we know there are videos circulating where there's an argument where you hear Nolan arguing with somebody, and we're trying to say, this is too much to just try to sweep under the rug. No, we want to have a thorough investigation as if it was 3 black boys and a white boy who was with them ended up dead. We want that same investigation.
And he is not lying, because if the roles were reversed, if we really being honest, if we really having a conversation about it, if we really talking about it, bruh, if this was 3 black boys with 1 single white boy, and that white boy went missing, not even bringing race into it, but if we being honest, just how America work, bruh, everybody and their mama would be on this case. They will say, we're not rooting on anything. The black boys would be looked at as suspects. These white boys, do you think they're getting looked at as suspects right now? No. Everybody should be looked at as a suspect until they're ruled out and they're not a suspect. That's how every investigation should work. You don't rule anybody out. You don't rule anybody out. And the reason why you don't rule anybody out, because at the end of the day, you never know. The person who you rule out at the beginning of the investigation might just be the very person who actually did it. Just saying. Let's continue, though.
You have such a history with civil rights cases. Are you suggesting race is an issue here?
We're talking about the state of Mississippi, and we know, based on the history of America, in the Deep South, there have been many racial killings where there were nobody held accountable. We don't know what happened here, but we cannot forget history, and we have to respect his parents saying that we want an independent investigation because we're not trusting people who are affiliated with Mississippi law enforcement. We have too many lived experiences as Black people in America. It's not adding up. It is simply not adding up. The fact that what teenager gives up their cell phone, that is always something that...
Especially if you hanging out with a girl. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and kick it with her. Y'all can go ahead. Why would you leave your phone with them, though? You don't need your phone if you're kicking it with a girl, if you're riding back with a girl. Just to let your homies know, hey, shoot, hey, boys, hey, we got the dub tonight, fellas. Or just to let your moms know, yeah, moms, I'm good. You know, I'm with the homies, even though you're really with her. You feel me? It's multiple reasons why you would want your phone if you're a young man. Because that's the real question. Because if I was the boys, why the hell would I even bring the fucking phone back in to begin with? I'm going to throw that motherfucker in the ocean. I ain't do nothing. I don't know where no phone at. Y'all better go search for it. But y'all brought the phone back in mint condition with some deleted messages? Oh, shit. Uh-oh.
It has us bewildered. The fact that his parents, his mother and father, when they're looking at the phone, they're seeing some deleted messages. So they're trying to figure out what's that about. So we want to dot every I, cross every T, and look under every rock, literally, because they are not accepting that the police saying where there's no foul play, let's just go ahead and move on. Well, they can't move on because Nolan is dead.
Are they seriously investigating this? Are they talking to the family? What's the state there?
We don't know what they're doing. As I understand it, they have not communicated with the family.
Has Nolan's body been returned to the family? And do you have plans for, we've covered cases like this with you before, that there's going to be an independent autopsy?
We are flying Nolan's body from Mississippi to Washington, D.C. to have a doctor perform an independent autopsy because his parents wanted autopsy done by a doctor that had no affiliation with law enforcement in the state of Mississippi, because that's how concerned they are about getting to the truth and not having any hints of impropriety.
Which is a great decision by them. You don't want any impropriety in this. You don't. So y'all ran y'all autopsy. What's going to come back is he drowned, no foul play, right? Just like the boy who was hung last year who had 2 broken legs. But there was no foul play. Nothing happened. We don't know what happened. How the hell you have 2 broken legs and you hang yourself? You commit suicide with 2 broken legs? Make it make sense. But that's another story for another day. We ain't getting into all that. You know, we didn't even touch that topic on here. But who knows? We might have to. Next thing I want to show y'all. This will explain a little bit more behind the scenes. Let's hear from my guy.
Secret Service Sam here, and this Nolan Xavier Wells case is just not sitting well with anybody, especially people in the Black community are not trusting what happened. They're not believing that this was some type of accident. He was allegedly going to see a girl, and so I guess a guy named Warren, one of the friends, left him behind. He went on another boat. There is video circulating online that almost shows that there was some type of potential altercation or fight that took place. Then it turns out one of the kids who made it back safely, their parent is a judge, and all the kids are lawyered up. Why would you be so lawyered up so quickly if there was nothing that you did wrong? Now, this is reminding.
Because we didn't hit on that. One of the parents of the kids. So one of these guys, mommy's a lawyer, daddy's a doctor. I know one of them, mama's a lawyer, daddy's a doctor. I don't know what the other kid is. But why y'all lowering it up so fast? They lowered up on Monday. They deleted all their socials on Monday. This happened on Saturday, bro, last week. Last Saturday, this happened. Why on Monday you getting a lawyer if nothing happened? If there was no foul play? And this is before the story hit the nation like it's hit now. Because today is Friday. So now the story just was on Good Morning America yesterday. I mean, not yesterday, today. So the story wasn't even out there like that. It wasn't even fresh. It wasn't even going that viral, kind of being downplayed a little bit. And y'all lowered up early that Monday. What you lowered up so quick for? Y'all actually tell mommy the truth? So now mommy got to make sure, the right things happen. Got to make sure that she protects her son. But let's continue.
Finding a lot of people of Tamla Horsford, who died on November 4th, 2018 in Cummings, Georgia. She's a black mother of 5. She attended an adult sleepover with mostly white female friends. The next morning, she was found dead in the backyard. Official investigations by the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation concluded her death was accidental as a fall from a backyard deck. How do you just fall from a backyard?
What? She was found dead in the backyard. I know this story ain't got nothing to do with Nolan Wells, but it seems a little fishy, don't it? 40-year-old Tamla Horsford, who died on November 4th, 2018 in Cumming, Georgia. A black mother of 5 attended an adult sleepover with mostly white female friends. No, all white female friends. The next morning, she was found dead in the backyard. Huh? What? It was an accidental fall. Interesting. Never mind my business.
Our deck. Authorities cited severe intoxication with her autopsy revealing a blood alcohol level of 0.238. Anyway, her family and community advocates heavily disputed the official findings, citing timeline discrepancies, the presence of unexplained injuries, and concerns over how the crime scene was handled. Now, this happened in Mississippi. That case happened in Forsyth County, which has a lot of racist history. We need this to be transparent. This continues to happen in the black community, where what are the chances that every time it's a group of all white people and like one black friend, why it's like a horror movie where the black person has to die first. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. People are not going to let this sit at all. And when you have Cyrus Carmack Belton, then you have Carmelo Anthony, then you have to understand how painful this is to the community that continually they're taken advantage of. And then when they claim something like this is racially motivated or whatnot, they're called victims, or they're saying, oh, you're just searching for something. Why are the boys lawyering up? Why did the boys have the kid's cell phone? Why did he have Nolan's cell phone and give it to the mother? You know how kids are, and all of us are with our phones. They are glued to our hip. How did the phone make it back, but he didn't? Something is suspect here. This is Mississippi. We've all seen Mississippi burning. We need justice for Nolan. Secret Service.
He made some good points toward the end right there. In this day and age, you leaving your phone somewhere? In this day and age, you staying on an island by yourself, talking to a girl, you gonna leave your phone on a boat with your homies? You ain't gonna notice that you don't have your phone before your homies leave? Right? You ain't gonna go get some of the things from the boat before your homies leave? Because you know you're probably gonna be there for another hour, a couple hours or two. Because who knows? You might just get lucky, take it down in her boat or something like that. Who knows? Who knows? Right? But the real question is, you ain't leaving your phone, dog. And the super, super duper question is, why? Why would they bring the phone back? That's going to be interesting. Hold on. Whew. It's going to get interesting, dog. It's going to get interesting. Because I saw another crazy story that we're going to get into here in a little bit. Well, not even a story. Just something else that came across my timeline that was wild and ridiculous. But let's listen to Reverend Sharpton. He's always, looking out for the community. Let's hear what my guy had to say about all this.
White man who happened to end up with his phone happened to end up with his keys, then there's just too many questions that they should not be closing the investigation. Now, I'm from Brooklyn, so I'm a little different than some of y'all. I was built different. My nose is out here, my eyes are here, my brain is here, which means some things I could smell before I could see and before I can figure out. This does not smell right. So some people are saying, Reverend, are y'all bringing in race? Well, we're not bringing in race, but we're not discounting race either, because we don't know what it is. So to tell us don't rush to judgment saying it was racist is fine. But then I'm telling you, don't rush to judgment saying it was not racism, because we do not know.
Facts.
We do know what these parents are being told, and what the parents have now shared with us does not make sense.
That's a fact. Some ain't adding up. I want y'all to really think about all this. And I want you to take a step back and draw your own conclusion. I wanted to cover this story and talk about this story because I just wanted to bring awareness to it. Because I believe that this story is going to be a little something different that comes out of it. It ain't going to be your normal come and go story. I promise you that. And with the looks of it, it's going to be a lot more things that come out. It's actually, I was going to say, it's only been a week. It hasn't even been a week since all this has happened. Since Nolan has lost his life. Hasn't even been a week. I know his family, their family, they just want answers. They just want answers. And I get that. Come on, man. Come on, man. So, we shall see how this ends. We shall see what happens. We shall see at the end of the day how this story ends. The evidence in the story will come out. The evidence in the story will either prove that no foul play happened or some spooky happened. The evidence at the end of the day and the investigation will bring out a lot. But who knows? How long do we have to wait to hear from the investigation? It's just getting started. Not even been a week. So don't jump to any conclusions. Don't blame this community or that community. Do your research. Be patient. But also make sure that you are aware of this story because it ain't going away anytime soon. The last video that I want to play regarding this story is this one right here. Let's hear a little bit more about it, and then we're going to close it out and get to some NBA topics.
After facing a firestorm of criticism, Sheriff John Ledbetter is speaking out. He says he and his investigators want the same thing Nolan's family wants to figure out what exactly happened to him. This morning, investigators in Mississippi are combing over videos taken on Horn Island around the hours Nolan Wells was last seen alive, including this clip from social media that has gone viral, the contents of which are unclear.
I don't know the origins of that video at this point, but yes, we are looking into it, and that's been brought to our attention.
Wells and his friends were celebrating the 4th of July. The sheriff now looking into claims from the mother of one of the friends who says Wells decided to stay behind when a mechanical issue caused their boat to take on water.
I believe I'm aware that she said that, or she may have made that in a written statement, but as far as our findings of that, that's still part of our
ongoing investigation. So what the mom said, so one of these kids' moms, the mom who was a judge actually, went online and did the Liberty of saying, hey, Nolan wanted to stay at the island. Boys said there was a mechanical issue going on with the boat, so they had to come back. Nolan decided to stay behind. My son last said that he saw the boys at 3 o'clock. Interesting. But the girl that he wanted to stay behind with said that he left with the boys, with your son. Your statement is contradicting, Miss Judge. Let's continue, though. Let's continue. Because
going investigation.
ABC News confirming one of Wells' friends on the trip made a missing persons report to the Coast Guard around 11 p.m. that night. Wells' mother filing her own report with the Sheriff Department just after midnight. Authorities have said they believe Wells drowned, but the sheriff stressed their work is still ongoing to determine exactly what happened.
We're awaiting the state's autopsy report from the medical examiner's office.
Wells' family attorneys launching their own investigation. They allege his cell phone was returned with deleted text messages.
At this time, we do not have the cell phone that they speak of, and we've never had the cell phone, but it is to my understanding that we requested the cell phone for an extraction. We're working towards the same goal as the family. We want a thorough investigation, and that's what we're going to continue to do until we arrive at the answers that the family deserves.
And the sheriff says he and his team are still reviewing a substantial amount of video and images they have received from the public. And he says he welcomes that independent investigation the family attorney says they plan to conduct. Mike.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, that independent investigation is going to end up saying a lot. It's going to end up saying a lot. What will they find? Who knows? Will there be foul play found? Will they get to the root of what really happened? Only time will tell. But this story, dog, this story right here, it ain't going nowhere no time soon. So get y'all popcorn ready, because it's about to get real interesting. Nolan Wells, I'm happy your family getting an independent autopsy done. I'm happy your family are quick to get the independent autopsy done, because they ain't going to be able to claim that, oh, no, this didn't appear in our autopsy. Oh, when y'all did y'all autopsy, it was 2-3 weeks later, so we don't know what happened to the body. No. As soon as y'all got done with y'all autopsy, when y'all first got the body, boom, we took the body, shipped it off to Washington, D.C. with an independent autopsy person, and boom, we're doing our own autopsy to really see what happened. To see, is y'all autopsy going to match up with ours? Because if it does, then hey, the story's on the up and up. But if it doesn't, boy, it's going to get spooky out here before time expires. Before it's all said and done, oh, it's about to go down, dog. It is about to go down. Come on, man. Come on, man, because it's a lot more to this story. A lot more to the story. And I promise you, I'm curious. I'm curious. Man, only time gonna tell. Do we want to watch one more video, or shall we move on? I think this next video might be important. Might be one that we should watch. It's loading. Be patient, y'all. Be patient. Because with this video that they've shown multiple times, that everybody's shown multiple times, was it really Nolan? Because with this video, I'm going to tell y'all what's been reported. Let's go ahead and watch it one more time. Let's get into it. We're almost done, y'all. NBA topics coming soon. Stay tuned. Oh. Doom, doom, doom. All right. All over there today. Said, my fucking, what? Interesting. The owner of that video actually got in contact with TMZ. Y'all want to know what happened? The original owner of the video told TMZ that they were on Horn Island last week, the last place that Nolan was seen alive on July 4th. And they took a video to send to their spouse just about everything that was going on at the island, how much fun they were having. After hearing about Nolan's disappearance, they put the video online to see if someone might be able to ID Nolan. And then the folks started falsely claiming that Nolan was in the video fighting with others. The thing is, though, the owner of the video also tells TMZ, though, that they heard a verbal altercation that occurred on the island, but their video doesn't show the fight. This is interesting. This is key because they also had Nolan's best friend, Javion Williams, who took a separate boat because the boat that Nolan was on was filled. Couldn't have any more people. So Nolan's pal, his homie, Javon Williams, the same person who reported him missing to the authorities at 11 o'clock that night, essentially confirmed that the alleged altercation between Nolan and these supposedly friends, it really happened. So Javion, Nolan's best friend, who was meeting Nolan at the island, the one who reported Nolan missing, the actual friend who actually showed that he cared about Nolan, they told TMZ that it was an actual fight. But the video that's going around, is going to get interesting. TMZ, they now have talked to Nolan's, Javion's best goddamn friend. And let's hear, this is exclusive, just dropped. Let's hear what Javion's best friend had to say about Nolan. Because he was there. He reported him missing. And he was meeting him at the island. He met him at the island. He saw the fight that happened that the video didn't capture. Let's see it. Let's get into it.
Javon, have you seen the video that's been going around social media where people think that they're hearing an argument between people and they're wondering whether or not Nolan is one of the people in that argument? You just described that you had another friend, not Nolan, another friend who was in and got into a dispute. Is that video the other argument that you were talking about?
Yes.
So, but is that Nolan in the video?
I can't tell. It's too far away. But in that video, I feel like the voices are too clear. Like from the side, it's too clear for it to be that far away, for it to be Nolan arguing. And then also that altercation, it sounds just like my other friend that got into the altercation on the boat. And they were trying to, like, as he was in that altercation, I was calming him down. They were trying to get him out off the island. They were trying to get him back to land because he was just losing it. So
Describe that. That's kind of interesting. What was that about?
He was just very hostile. Like he was just like really like mad. Like they were just trying to, like, the parents on that boat were trying to get him out.
I'm curious if the police have, I know they said they're still investigating. Did any investigators ever speak to you about what you saw that day?
No, sir.
Really? Okay. Cops have not talked to you yet.
No, sir.
What? This is his best friend. The friend who reported him missing. And the cops ain't talked to you yet? You was there. You're an eyewitness. You reported Nolan missing. Whoa. What am I missing?
That's odd.
I don't see why the cops would have. I don't see why the cops would have to talk to me. I mean, obviously, like, you know, like I had said my plea, like, because whenever I had talked to the people at Sunherd, it was whenever, you know, the body was discovered, and the autopsy people and the all those people were there.
Well, I'll tell you why I'm surprised, because you knew Nolan well, and you knew that he was friends with these guys who were the last ones to be around him before his body was found. And I would think they would at least want to know, hey, just the things we're asking.
Right.
You know, did you ever hear of any of this stuff? It's odd to me.
Just to gather information.
Yeah, that the cops wouldn't have contacted you. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, I'm completely fine with that. Like I said, I have nothing to hide. Like, that's my boy, and I want him to find justice. Like that, like this whole case thing, like whatever, like this whole situation, and none of this adds up to me. So like, it's really hard, like, for like people to just like keep on saying things when like none of it adds up, honestly.
None of it adds up, huh, Javon? You ain't got interviewed by the authorities? You was there that day. You one of his best friends. Something ain't adding up, y'all. Something ain't adding up. My trip. I'm curious, man. I'm curious to why having the cops interview him. He said, I talked to the Rangers during the body search, the people who was looking for the body, but the police ain't contacting me. The police ain't saying nothing to me. Interesting. This is supposed to be a real investigation, ain't it? What are y'all investigating? Wow. So, that wasn't a whole video, though. So, we're going to rewatch some of those clips because now I have the full video, the full 3-minute video, because that wasn't a whole video. Let's rewatch it, and then let's break it down a little bit more into depth. Why do they always play with me like that? I need my audio. Hey, hold on. Let's get into it.
Javon, have you seen the video that's been going around social media where people think that they're hearing an argument between people and they're wondering whether or not Nolan is one of the people in that argument? You just described that you had another friend, not Nolan, another friend who was in and got into a dispute. Is that video the other argument that you were talking about?
Yes.
So, but is that Nolan in the video?
I can't tell. It's too far away. But in that video, I feel like the voices are too clear. Like from the side, it's too clear for it to be that far away, for it to be Nolan arguing. And then also that altercation, it sounds just like my other friend that got into an altercation on the boat. And they were trying to, like, as he was in that altercation, I was calming him down. They were trying to get him out off the island. They were trying to get him back to land because he was just losing it. So
describe that. That's kind of interesting. What was that about?
He was just very hostile. Like he was just like really like mad. Like they were just trying to, like, the parents on that boat were trying to get him out.
I'm curious if the police have. I know they said they're still investigating. Did any investigators ever speak to you about what you saw that day?
No, sir.
Really? Okay. Cops have not talked to you yet.
No, sir.
That's odd.
I don't see why the cops would have. I don't see why the cops would have to talk to me. I mean, obviously, like, you know, like I had said my plea, like, because whenever I had talked to the people at Sunherd, it was whenever, you know, the body was discovered, and the autopsy people and the all those people were there.
Well, I'll tell you why I'm surprised, because you knew Nolan well, and you knew that he was friends with these guys who were the last ones to be around him before his body was found. And I would think they would at least want to know, hey, just the things we're asking.
Right.
You know, did you ever hear of any of this stuff? It's odd to me.
Just to gather information.
Yeah,
as
that
part
the
of their
cops wouldn't have
investigation.
contacted you. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, I'm completely fine with that. Like I said, I have nothing to hide. Like, that's my boy, and I want him to find justice. Like that, like this whole case thing, like whatever, like this whole situation, and none of this adds up to me. So like, it's really hard, like, for like people to just like keep on saying things when like none of it adds up, honestly.
So one of the things that I'm sure, Javon, you've seen has been a big part of this story, people making the point that, at least in the photos that we initially saw, that Nolan was the only African-American kid who was out there, at least on that boat. Do you think, having been there on the island with this large group of people, that race plays a factor in whatever happened here?
Again, I don't want to answer that. I don't want to answer that question. I wouldn't say like, yeah, I wouldn't want to answer that question. I mean, obviously we go to Ocean Springs, we're going to have white friends. So like, that's, I mean, I guess it's pretty normal down here, but.
Yeah, I mean, and I hear you. If that's, I
Yeah,
guess you're saying that it's normal. It's not out of place to be a black teen in that area and that you have white friends, right? That's
Yeah, like-
not uncommon
Yeah.
is what you're saying.
I'm sure every black person has white friends somewhere, you know? So I wouldn't say that it's a whole race thing, but it's just like, obviously they're going to paint it as that because none of this adds up.
And guess what? That's exactly how everybody painting it. Is this a race issue? Is this story really adding up? Can we discuss it? Can we talk about it? How do y'all feel about this story? Do y'all feel like, hey, at the end of the day, it's just going to pit two communities against each other? Is this going to put white people over here or black people over here? Or is justice going to prevail and will cooler heads remain calm and still? Because it doesn't matter what community it is. At the end of the day, if four friends go out on a boat together, four friends should come out together. That's the root of all this. Whether you're black, white, Mexican, poor, rich, it don't make a difference. If four friends go kick it and hang out with each other, four friends should come back with each other. That's how it should be, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Come on, man. It's being turned into a race thing because evidence isn't aligning. Because right now, that's all you can do is speculate. But the truth will come out. Black people can have white friends. White people can have black friends. This is America. You can have Indian friends. You can have Asian friends. You can have Puerto Rican friends. You can have Mexican friends. That don't mean your friends gonna kill you. But if four friends leave on a boat together, four friends should come back on that same fucking boat together. That's the root of this problem. And the question lies to why aren't things adding up? Why aren't things adding up? That is what it comes down to. So, we shall see what the future holds. SO to Tyler Perry. SO to Colin Kaepernick. Tyler Perry, he's saying he's helping the family with whatever they need. Colin Kaepernick paid for the family's autopsy. Tyler Perry said he's paying for the family's funeral. This story, I promise you this, ain't going away anytime soon. This story, I promise you this, is only going to get bigger and bigger. This story, you can hold me to it, will be one of them ones. Because I suspect foul play. I suspect that something happened to Nolan that shouldn't happen to anybody. I suspect that if you really do truly love your friend, even if you want to stay to get some buns, hey bro, here go your phone. Make sure you call us whenever you leave, or if you leave with them, or if we got to come back out here and get you, we're going to come back out here and get you. That's what real friends going to do. You go missing, or you ain't hit us since you been left at the island. You ain't hit us back letting us know you was okay. Hey bro, how come you ain't text us? You good over there? You still with old girl? You still with the girl you was talking to? That's what friends do. So how come his friends didn't do this? I'm just asking. How come his friends didn't do this? Boy, the feds own me today. But am I right though, y'all? Because this is going to be key. Because I said the girl was a key witness in all this. No. The girl isn't a key witness anymore. You know who the key witnesses are? The key witnesses in this story are 1, 2. Are their stories going to align? Are their stories going to match up? The authorities, they say, hey, this is under investigation. You heard the sheriff say, we want the same things the family want, right? Okay. If you want the same things the family want, how come you haven't interviewed all the key witnesses? Javion just told y'all who he... Do we got to hear from him again? Let's rewatch this one more time, and I'm going to break it down piece by piece, slice by slice.
Have you seen the video that's been going around social media where people think that they're hearing an argument between people, and they're wondering whether or not Nolan is one of the people in that argument? You just described that you had another friend, not Nolan, another friend who was in and got into a dispute. Is that video the other argument that you were talking about?
Yes.
So,
but
is that Nolan in the video?
I can't tell. It's too far away. But in that video, I feel like the voices are too clear. Like from the side, it's too clear for it to be that far away, for it to be Nolan arguing. And then also that altercation, it sounds just like my other friend that got into the altercation on the boat. And they were trying to, like, as he was in that altercation, I was calming him down. They were trying to get him out off the island. They were trying to get him back to land because he was just losing it. So
Describe that. That's kind of interesting. What was that about?
He was just very hostile. Like he was just like really like mad.
So he's not talking about Nolan, right? He's talking about another friend who came, who was hostile, who was mad, who was angry, who was upset. But he's not talking about Nolan. So don't get that misconstrued.
Like they were just trying to, like the parents on that boat were trying to get him out.
I'm curious if the police have, I know they say they're still investigating. Did any investigators ever speak to you about what you saw that day?
No, sir.
Really? Okay. Cops have not talked to you yet.
No, sir.
My boy said, no, sir. He said, I'm just out here living my best life. Cops ain't even come to speak to me yet. I'm one of the key witnesses. I was there that day. I'm the one who reported Nolan missing. And they ain't talked to you yet? I thought this was supposed to be a fair and honest investigation. How come they haven't talked to one of the key witnesses? Javion, did you know Nolan Wells?
I don't see why the cops would have to talk to me. I mean, obviously, like, you know, like I had said my plea, like, because whenever I had talked to the people at Sunheard, it was whenever, you know, the body was discovered and the autopsy people and all those people were there.
Well, I'll tell you why I'm surprised. Because you knew Nolan well. and you knew that he was friends with these guys who were the last ones to be around him before his body was found. And I would think they would at least want to know, hey, just the things we're asking.
Right.
You know, did you ever hear of any of this stuff? It's odd to me.
Just to gather information.
Yeah,
as
that
part
the
of their
cops wouldn't have
investigation.
contacted you. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, I'm completely fine with that. Like I said, I have nothing to hide. Like, that's my boy, and I want him to find justice. Like that, like this whole case thing, like whatever, like this whole situation, and none of this adds up to me. So like, it's really hard, like, for like people to just like keep on saying things when like none of it adds up, honestly.
So one of the things that I'm sure, Javon, you've seen has been a big part of this story. People.
So this is coming from a friend that's there. What did he say? Let's have him repeat himself.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's fine. Like, I'm completely fine with that. Like I said, I have nothing to hide. Like,
he has nothing to hide, and he's okay with being interviewed. He was there that day. How come y'all haven't interviewed him? Is he not a key witness? I'm asking. Is he not a key
that's
witness?
my boy, and I want him to find justice. Like that, like this whole case thing, like whatever, like this whole situation, and none of this adds up to me. So like, it's really hard, like, for like people to just like keep on saying things when like none of it adds up, honestly.
So one of the things that I'm sure, Javon, you've seen has been a big part of this story. People making the point that, at least in the photos that we initially saw, that Nolan was the only African American kid who was out there, at least on that boat. Do you think, having been there on the island with this large group of people, that race plays a factor in whatever happened here?
Again,
does it? Take your time.
I don't want to answer that. I don't want to answer that question. I wouldn't say like, yeah, I wouldn't want to answer that question. I mean, obviously we go to Ocean Springs, we're going to have white friends. So like, that's, I mean, I guess it's pretty normal down here, but.
Yeah, I mean, and I hear you. If that's, I guess you're saying that it's normal. It's not out of place to be a black teen in that area and that you have white friends, right? That's not uncommon, is what you're saying.
I'm sure every black person has white friends somewhere, you know? So I wouldn't say that it's a whole race thing, but it's just like, obviously they're going to paint it as that because none of this adds up.
He said, obviously they're going to paint it as that, though, because none of this adds up. This is coming from someone who was actually there. He's saying that none of this adds up. He's saying that I saw one altercation happen with my one friend while my boy Wells was over there arguing too. So two of my friends was getting into it out there that day. But one friend ended up losing his life. Did race play an issue in this, y'all? Potentially. Maybe. But not really, bruh. It goes to what I just said earlier. If four friends leave on a boat together, four friends should return on that same boat together. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Now it just comes down to, okay, what really happened out there on the boat? TMZ, you asked them wrong questions, though. When was the last time you seen Javion? Who was the girl that he was talking to? Did you talk to her? Do you think he stayed behind? TMZ, I could have did a better interview than that. And I'm sure you paid little homie for that interview. Because if he was smart, he would have told y'all to. Ain't no interviews for free, little homie. So if they didn't pay you, you better go and get your money back. I tell him, hey, I need that back in. You know? But only time will tell, y'all. I'm not going to continue to beat a dead horse. I'm intrigued now with this story. I'm interested now in this story. I want to see how this plays out. Because I can promise you that. And I can promise you this. I can promise you that. And I can promise you this. At the end of the day, my guy ain't going to just vanish and disappear or drown when you're on a boat with 4 people. Or even if you stay behind, bro, it's at least over 100+ people who stay behind with you. Hey, one person gonna give you a ride back. The girl that you was with, she ain't gonna give you a ride back that they claim you stayed with, but then she claims that you went with them. It's about to get real interesting out here. And when I say real interesting, yeah, get your popcorn ready. But moving on. All right? I know what y'all came here for. Y'all said, hey, we saw the thumbnail. Hey, we saw some of the topics that you had ready to go. Can you really get into it? Can you talk about something else for me? Can you go ahead? Hey, we came here for that Bron talk. We came here because you talked about Charles Barkley and him talking about Bron and saying where he should finish his career at. So without further ado, if you're ready for that sports talk, if you're ready for that NBA talk, go ahead and make sure, before we do it, hey, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Hit that follow button, man. Stop being a ghost watcher. All right, if you're in here right now, go ahead and show me some love. But moving on, man. SO to Nolan Wells. If you want more, if you want to hear more, I've been touching on this video the whole stream. Go ahead and wind the video back. I played a ton of clips from the incident. You might learn a little bit more or a lot more from what happened. And now, let's go ahead and get into what Charles Barkley had to say about LeBron James and him potentially returning back to Cleveland and why he should. Go ahead, talk to us, Charles. I pressed the wrong button. Look at, boy, somebody, he needs some milk.
The biggest criticism of LeBron.
Hold on, can y'all hear that? That's way too low. That's way too low. Come on, Charles, that way, boy, you got to speak up, little homie.
LeBron James has always been that he packs his team, because he's always packed his team. Because he's chasing this imaginary Michael Jordan ghost, what he needs to let go. Listen, what do you, and I love LeBron. He spends more time talking about he's the GOAT. And Michael Jordan says, I never say I'm the GOAT. And then you got these people who argue all the time, which is stupid. LeBron, the only way he should go back to Cleveland and finish his career there. If he goes to Philly, people are going to say he's ring chasing to catch Michael. If he goes to Golden State, they're going to say he's ring chasing. He don't have no affiliation to Philadelphia or Golden State. What he does have is his hometown team who, listen, I'll be honest with you guys. If he goes to the Cavaliers, which is what I think the rightful thing, because that's his home, he grew up there, they're probably going to be favored to win the East, in my opinion.
But I don't know if they're going to be favored to win the East, Charles, but they'll be up there. Let me let you finish, though.
They got a good team. They're lacking leadership, and LeBron's a great leader. And to me, it'll be a fitting way for him to finish his career, in my opinion. But he got no affiliation with Philly. He got no affiliation with the Golden State Warriors. I hear people talking about, yeah, it would be fun to watch all those old geezers in Golden State play. Yeah, it would be fun. If he went to Philly, y'all probably would definitely be the favorite, to be honest with you guys. But he don't have no affiliation to Philly. And stop getting greedy, too.
Yeah, listen. I mean, he right. Charles in that video made a lot of key points, a lot of good points. LeBron, if you go to Philly, you're going to look like you're ring chasing. If you go to Golden State, you're going to look like you're ring chasing. But if you go to Cleveland, if you go back home, where you already been, where they already got a decent team, where, like Charles said, you could be favorites to win the East. It'll be looked at different if you came out with a ring. I would actually be ready to have that conversation about my GOAT and you. So if Bron, you go to Cleveland, you win a chip there, we can have a conversation. I ain't saying we gonna say who better. I ain't gonna say we gonna say you better, but I'm up for the conversation. But right now, my guy got 5 to your 4. And we've earned our 5. Yo, you can say, oh, he got 3 with Shaq. Yeah, he got 3 with Shaq, but he was 1A. He wasn't 1B. Shaq is the most dominant big man of all time, but Shaq needed Kobe, just like Kobe needed Shaq. And then Kobe won 2 without him. Come on, man. Shaq won 1 without Kobe, yes, but Shaq had Wade. I don't care what anybody say. Wade, like that. In his prime, he's like that. Can't say he's not. So now, what it comes down to, Bron, you ring chasing? Or do you just want to ride off into the sunset? Do you care about what people say about you? Do you care if people say, oh, Bron's just ring chasing now? Bron, his whole career, all he did was go from team to team and chase a ring. Bron, his whole career, all he did was hop from team to team, played with 4 different teams. Paul Pierce had a hell of a point on this subject and on this topic. And I'm here for it. I want to talk about it because, hey, was Paul Pierce right? Let's hear from Paul on the subject.
If LeBron goes to Philly, it takes him totally out the GOAT debate.
Okay.
Why
so
that?
Question, does that change for any team he goes to or no?
Well, no player that we consider that's been in the GOAT debate has been a 4th option. No, seriously.
Whoa.
Like Jordan, even when he went to the Wizards, was still the 1st option.
Sure.
Kareem was 2nd option. With Magic.
Yeah.
Like when we start having these debates about the GOAT, and we say, well, you know, Philly won a championship, but he was 4th option. He has 5 rings, but 4th, 5th option. Like, so it'll do something to his legacy. I really believe that. Like, GOAT didn't take back seat to nobody that wasn't considered a GOAT themselves.
Right. Yeah.
Sure. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. But
you understand? Like, Magic was considered like a GOAT
for sure.
to
For
Kareem.
Yeah. I mean, we think
Magic
is one of the greatest players, top 5.
Yeah, and like, think about who do we talk about? Like, if we put GOAT, like, who's been like if you say Kobe's a GOAT, he's only been a 2nd fiddle. He's never been less than that.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For
So,
sure.
like, when we start having these conversations, it's just like, yeah, but he won his 5th championship as a 5th, as a 4th option. So
I don't think it gives him points, but I don't think it makes him lose points on that.
I think it makes him lose points. It really does. Because now the argument is over.
So you saying you don't look him in the same breath as a Kareem and a Magic if he goes to Philadelphia and plays with Joel Embiid?
Yeah, absolutely, and wins a chip because none of these guys have never settled for less than 1st or 2nd fiddle.
Sure.
Like, this is the GOAT debate we're talking about. Russell was 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Kareem was 1 or 2. Magic was 1 or 2 whole career. Jordan's never been a 2nd option.
I think there's some exception.
Yeah, but he's the 1st option at 40 on a team that won like 40 games.
Where? What team?
The Wizards. They were like a 500.
It doesn't
team
matter.
barely.
He was still 1st
They
option.
won a championship.
So, again,
This is what
I
he
would.
was still the 1st option.
This is what I'm saying.
He said, I don't care where I go. I'm the 1st option, and that's no debate.
There's gotta be an exception for a guy in year 24.
No,
like
let's not move the goalposts.
I'm not.
There is an exception for a guy who's 34. But Paul Pierce, I think you hit the nail on the wrong coffin. Paul Pierce, I think you were totally wrong with your take right here. Because yes, LeBron, at the end of the day, he will be seen as he's ring chasing. His legacy may take a hit because he's a fourth option if he goes to Philly. If he goes to Philly, Maxey, well, first of all, Embiid is a first option. Then there's Maxey. Well, actually, no, we're lying. Embiid is a first option. Then there's Jalen Brown. Then there's Maxey. And then there's Bron. So, yes, Bron would be definitely the fourth option. But who cares if he's a fourth option? The man is 42, and he's going to a stacked and loaded team. I will be okay with being a fourth option because I know ultimately that team is going to come away with a chip. That team ultimately is going to go ahead and get the goddamn job done. That team ultimately going to go ahead and get in their goddamn bag, period. So with that being said, interesting. It's interesting. Because, Paul, you made a solid point, but not really, though. Because Bron, at the end of the day, wherever he go, he's going to be seen as ring chasing. If he goes to Golden State, if he goes to Miami, or even if he goes to the Sixers. He has no affiliation with Golden State. He has no affiliation with the 76ers. So those two teams specifically, yeah, would be considered him ring chasing with those specific teams because he has no affiliation. Yes, he played with Curry in the USA Olympics. So that's a little bit of affiliation, but it's not the same. If Bron goes to Miami, I don't think it's going to look as bad because he's played in Miami. Maybe he just really loved it in Miami, so that's why he's going back. But we obviously know he's going back to Miami if he chose to go back to Miami because he wants to win a ring, and he thinks that is the best team that can get him to winning a goddamn ring. So this conversation is interesting. Paul Pierce, you make a great point. I agree with Barkley, though. I'm more on Barkley's side, but
I'm not saying it changes.
Not do that.
I'm not saying it gives him go.
But I
don't think it takes away, though. I think it just keeps it where it's at.
It just puts us back to saying, hey, he's only going to be able to lean on the statistics. And the statistics, they're loud.
Mm-hmm.
This GOAT debate,
pretty good statistics.
the statistics are very loud for GOAT. But then, when you start, we dissect GOAT debate.
Definitely loud.
When you start really dissecting it, that's going to be
for sure
an asterisk.
I think that's for
in
more
the argument. You know what I'm saying?
Would it be a third option on the Cavaliers, who we've said on the show that we really want to?
That's what I'm saying. Anywhere he goes, I feel like he'll be a third, a fourth option.
45.
About to be 42 years old.
That's why it's time to retire.
He said that's why it's time to retire. Paul Pierce. See what that last statement you just said there? That last statement? You hate. You hate. You hate. Because why will LeBron retire? He just averaged damn near 24, 8, and 7 last year and played 70 games. Why the fuck would I retire? I averaged 24, 8, and 7 in a season where I turned 41. Would you retire if you still averaging 24, 8, and 7? Because Paul Pierce, what you averaged your last season? Do we got to talk about it? Can we have a discussion? Can we have an honest discussion about it? Because what you averaged your last season, 3 points. 3 points. And if I'm lying, I'm flying. Paul Pierce, don't be no goddamn hater. Because you ain't averaged over 20 since 08. And you play how many seasons after 08? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boy, what? I can keep going. You play how many seasons after 08, Paul Pierce? So who? Come on, bro. Don't disrespect Brown like that. Don't get me wrong, you was around 20 for the longest time, but 18 ain't 20. Last time you averaged 20 points was when, you won a chip. And I respect that. You deserve that chip. For sure. Well-deserved chip. But at the end of the day, big dog, at the end of the goddamn day, you, my friend, shouldn't be a hater. Because we looking at your averages. And then if we look at LeBron averages, do we got to compare? Do I really got to pull them up? Do I really got to pull them up? Is it really necessary, y'all? Is it really fucking necessary? I'm just asking, I'm dead serious. I'm asking, is it really necessary? And I'm capping too, because last year, Bron averaged 20, not 24. He averaged 24 the year before. But if you look at LeBron's last season, and goddamn, boy, you see this? When you play for over 20 years, boy, your list long. Oh my goodness. But if we look at from 28, you played a good season back when you averaged 20, the last season you averaged 20, Paul Pierce. In 2008, Bron averaged 28, 7-7. Your last 5 seasons, you averaged 18. Actually, yeah, I give you that. We'll do last 6 seasons. You averaged 18, 13, 11, 6, 3. Bron averaged 27, 25, 25, 26, 27, 27. Psych. 30, 28, 25, 24, 20. There's no comparison, Paul Pierce. Because LeBron, 40-something, still putting up more buckets than you did your last few years while you were playing. So you retired early for a reason. Because you ain't on the same level. Not even a comparison. Not even close, my friend. So Paul Pierce, stop playing with us, bro. I'm not even a LeBron fan, but that take, you can keep that one. That take, you can take it home with you. Because at the end of the day, if Bron go to the 76ers, hey, I'm here for it. If he go to Golden State, I'm here for it. If he go to Miami, I'm here for it. And if you go to Cleveland, I'm here for it. I already told y'all my picks, though. I'll either want to see him in Golden State or I want to see him with the Sixers. If he goes to Cleveland, I'm here for it, but I ain't going to be tuned in like I would be tuned in if he went to Golden State, watching him play with Steph and AD. Or if he went and played with Jalen Brown and Maxey and Embiid. It's not as exciting. You go to Miami to play with Giannis and Bam, kind of excited somewhat, but y'all ain't got no shooters. I keep saying that. So it's going to be interesting. But, bruh, I'm tired of hearing all this extra talk, though. I'm tired of hearing about this and hearing about that. Windhurst, you got the inside scoop. Because Bron actually might be considering really going to where? Where y'all think Bron really considering going? I'm asking for a friend. Windhorst, talk to us.
But I will say a big factor here is Tyrese Maxey. I know that so much of the focus is on Jalen Brown because that's how Philly got into this conversation. They traded for Jalen Brown last week. But the reason I think he's seriously looking at Philadelphia is because of Tyrese Maxey. And that connection is with Clutch Sports, his agency that he is, basically a founder of alongside Rich Paul. It's the Tyrese Maxey connection that draws him in. It's that was the same thing with Anthony Davis that got Anthony Davis to the Lakers. And the reason that LeBron would have interest in playing with Anthony Davis if he were traded to the Golden State Warriors in the coming days. And this is not just a Clutch Sports thing. All of the top level agencies have their clients work together. But this is a Tyrese Maxey thing. You would really want Tyrese Maxey sitting next to Bob Myers making the pitch, and I'm sure he has.
Yeah, and that's the interesting.
But
Interesting. Tyrese Maxey with Clutch Sports? I didn't know that. There's another connection right there to Philly we didn't know about. There's a first connection, actually. Because Paul Pierce said he had no connection. Tyrese Maxey, guess what? He made LeBron some cheese. Because LeBron part owner of Clutch Sports. And Rich Paul works on the Clutch Sports. Because Rich Paul runs Clutch Sports. And LeBron started Clutch Sports with Chris Paul. I'm going to say with Chris Paul. With Rich Paul. Crazy, dog. So, that's interesting. How do y'all think things going to shape up? Because now I want to hear your opinion. What would you, one, want to see LeBron at? Two, LeBron, is he ring chasing? Is he ring chasing? And three, do we care? Bruh, if we really having a conversation, LeBron is going to be the end of an era. That's the end of the Kobe's, the Paul Pierce's, the goddamn Ginobili's, the Tony Parkers. That's the end of the goddamn, the Joe Johnsons. You feel me? Dwayne Wade. Curry. We still got him, but once LeBron retire, bro, that's the end of an era, bro. I put Kobe and LeBron in the same era. LeBron came a few years after Kobe came in the league. Yeah, I understand that. But he's still part of that era. They play against each other. Would have been amazing to see them, play each other in the finals, but Brown didn't get the job done. Brown didn't get the job done to meet Kobe in the finals. Kobe got the job done, but Brown didn't that year. But it's cool, though. But let me know in the chat, man. Where y'all think LeBron going to end up? And do you think his legacy will be hurt if he chose to go to Golden State or he chose to go to the 76ers or even if he chose to go to Miami because, hey, he won a ring. And if I'm fucking LeBron and I'm 40-something, bro, I'm not out here just playing for my health. Fuck I look like? I want a goddamn ring. So, dog, ain't no judging LeBron. Ain't no saying this or that. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Stop it. Stop it. Regardless. We gonna see. That's on the Brian though. Because, hey, we locked and loaded. Hey, we still here talking about you. So clearly, we all intrigued. And we all want to know, where the hell you going? But in other news, man, we got to switch gears, man. We got to switch gears just a little bit. Because if you haven't heard, that boy Jalen Brunson, boy, hey, that name gonna ring forever. That name gonna ring forever. Name gonna ring forever. Because that boy won the finals. And he just had a jersey. One of his final jerseys. Said for how much? For how much? For $1 million. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Crazy. Crazy. So if you ain't heard, if you've been living under a rock, let me go ahead and explain what I'm talking about. The Jalen Brunson worn jersey of the epic game one in the NBA Finals just sold for $1,024,000. That's a pretty penny. It's the most expensive piece of Knicks memorabilia ever publicly sold. Holy shit. $1 million, bro, for his game-worn jersey? To be quite honest with you, boy, I would have said, hey, I might need to buy that jersey from you. Because like I told y'all earlier, in the NBA, it's different from the NFL. In the NFL, you own every single jersey. After you play a game, that jersey is yours. That's why you see so many NFL jersey swaps. In the NBA, though, it's a little different. In the NBA, you cannot take your jersey back with you unless you him for real. Because the jerseys that the NBA players have, they're owned by the team. So if you look at what I just showed you, the key word was an auction. So the Knicks, at probably one of their fundraisers or one of their auctions, guess what they sold? Jalen Brunson's games finals jersey. Bro, I'll be fucking pissed. But it's within your contract. That's why you make 40, 50, 60, 70 million dollars a year in the NBA. Because guess what? The NBA said, we paying you all this money. Guess what? We got to get a little something too. So them jerseys y'all win, yeah, that's ours. In the NFL, when you wear an NFL jersey, that jersey yours when you put it on. In the NBA, it's not yours. Because don't you think if Jalen Brunson, if those are his jerseys, if those are the ones he owns, why the hell would you get rid of any of them? Think about it. But it's not his. So, hey, I respect it. So the official game-worn jerseys are listed as property of the National Basketball Association. All right? And the proceeds from that auction that Jalen Brunson's jersey went into, basically, they go to the charity. And it's sold. Do you get a say-so? Hell nah. You just got to take it on the chin, big dog. But with Jalen Brunson having a jersey, bro, sale for over goddamn $1 million, bro. Crazy. Crazy. When I say crazy, crazy. Hold on. God dang it. Come on, YouTube. Hold on, because I got to yell a little bit. I got to scream a little bit because YouTube over here trying to copyright me. YouTube over here trying to play with me. You know I don't like to be played with. But let's go ahead. Let's listen. All right, you know I got a video for you. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Remember when the NBA stars stopped by our plaza last month, fresh off the Knicks' epic championship win? Well, the New York point guard is setting another record. The jersey that Brunson wore in Game 1 of the NBA Finals, guys, it just sold in a Sotheby's auction for $1,024,000. That is the most paid for any Brunson collectible, and also a record-breaking price for a Knicks collectible of any kind. When Brunson wore that jersey against San Antonio, he scored nearly half of his 30 points in the fourth quarter to seal that victory for the Knicks.
Man.
I would have thought of it more. That.
I feel it's a lot of money for a jersey.
Oh,
Bro, $1 million? Man, I'm going to start a goddamn museum or something in my house, bro, if I'm paying for $1 million for a jersey. $1 million? Crazy. So if it's worth $1 million today, imagine how much it's going to be worth in about 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Crazy. That's what the Jalen Brunson, man. I just wanted to touch on that topic real quick because, bro, having a jersey that you wore in the finals being sold for $1 million and the finals was just a couple months ago, that's pretty impressive. That's crazy. So that's all the Jalen Brunson. That's all the everything he got going on. Jalen, I respect you, big dog. All right, keep on getting your money and stay in your bag over there. Yeah. All the way. Every single day. I respect it. Now, can we move on a little bit? Can we move on? Can we talk about something else? I got one more topic for you. Because we got anonymous GMs out here. We got anonymous GMs out here talking and coming for some people. Donovan Mitchell. I don't need you to step into the front of the congregation, but we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. Because there's some people out here saying you don't deserve some of the money that you got. There's some people out here saying you ain't worth them M's. No, that $275 million extension you just got? Boy. They saying you don't deserve it. They saying you don't deserve it, big dog. Can we talk about it? What do y'all think? Y'all think Donovan Mitchell worth 4-year, $273 million maximum extension. Y'all think he worth that? I'm just asking for a friend. Because it was reported that a GM, an anonymous GM said that in the terms of that kind of money, you got to be a generational talent when you get into the $70 million range. And there may only be a couple of players in the league that's worth that kind of money. And they saying that Donovan Mitchell, he ain't worth that kind of money. Because at one point in time, when Donovan Mitchell's contract is over, you know something? He gonna be getting $68 million. Next year, Donovan Mitchell, what are you gonna be making? $68 million. Next year, how much Jalen Brown? I said Jalen Brown. Jalen Brunson gonna be making 38. Jalen Brunson getting paid the 45th most in the league. It won't be like that after this upcoming season. I promise you that, though. But Donovan Mitchell making $68 million? Is he worth the money? Hell no. What? Not even a question. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I like Donovan Mitchell. I'm a fan of Donovan Mitchell. I promise you, I really am. He ain't worth no $68 million, dog. He ain't worth no $68 million, dog. He ain't worth no $68 million, dog. He's improved every year. He's gotten buckets every year. Started off with the Utah Jazz, if you can remember. Then he was shipped off. Then he was shipped off to where? To the Cavaliers. Started off averaging a dub. Last year, he averaged 27. The year before, 24, 26, and 28. Those are superstar numbers right there. But is Donovan Mitchell considered a generational talent? Like the GM said. I don't know. It's up for debate. It's definitely debatable. Anonymous GM. What'd you have to say, big dog?
Player, but one of the GMs basically said, like, in terms of this kind of money, you've got to be a generational talent. And this guy didn't think Jalen Brown was close to that, but he essentially said, when you get into like the $70 million range, which is obviously where this is, there might only be a couple of players in the league that are worth that kind of money. And so there is some major risk involved here, especially when you've got Evan Mobley making 50 plus a year. Good defensive player, but
that's a fact. Because you got Evan Mobley, who a young up and coming star who ain't take that next step yet, but they expect him to take the next step. He making $50 million. But you're gonna give another player on your same team, give him 68? So just like Brad Stevens was talking about Jalen Brown was too expensive. The CBA, we paying too expensive players. We got the most too expensive players on our team. We've got enough money to go around. Yeah. It's the same thing with Cavaliers. Same thing with the Cavaliers. But they ain't trading one of their best players, unlike the Boston Celtics. They ain't say all that and then went out to go try to get another Supermax player who's making the same amount, if not less or more, than Jalen Brown. Another story for another day. If you want to hear me talk about that subject more, go check out one of my videos when I discussed Jalen Brown, because it was one of the last videos where I discussed this same and similar topic. But regardless, though, do y'all agree?
One of the GM.
Is he worth that money? One of the GMs said it. One of the GMs said it. Donovan Mitchell ain't worth that. What? Come on, man. But can we talk about this, though? That's on the Donovan Mitchell. Real quick before we move on. I just want to let you know, big dog. Hey, get your money. Get your money. You robbing the NFL. You robbing the NBA. You ain't worth that cheese. You're not. But who am I? Who am I?
Coming off the Achilles and then the knee injury. Great mid move by Bryant. Got stripped. Got it back. Gives it up. Johnson's three is good.
Kobe had insane
14 3-pointers.
Nice dish. Kobe's taking the shot, and that's what the Pacers are trying to do is double team. It's exactly what he did last night in Minnesota.
And
exactly
Wesley shot. Hill. Off to Kobe.
This is old Kobe, too.
Jordan Hill. Good return to Hill. Batted away by Kobe and a steal.
Mixed with a little bit
Lakers
of
running lane.
Beautiful steal by Kobe. Nice feed to Jeremy Lin. Just
trying to work his way in to Davis. Scores it to Kobe.
That's up to my GOAT, man. I saw it on the timeline, man. Hey, you know, anytime we see it, we got to show the legend some love, man. Anytime we see it, we got to show the legend some love. Got to. It's a must. It's a must. Regardless, though. How y'all doing, man? Can we get into a few other topics? Is that allowed? Is that okay? Y'all still get your popcorn ready? You got a little snack or something? You good over there? I'm asking for a friend. Before we continue to go ahead, dive into some more topics, you good. Life good. You healthy. Let me know in the chat. If you need anything, let me know. All right? Because the thing is, something else is special about what's going on in the world. You know something else special about it? You're alive. You well. And you thriving. That's all that matters. Hey. About to get crazy out here, big dog. About to get crazy out here. So just make sure you're healthy. Just make sure that life is good. That's all. That's all. All right. But before we get into this next topic, I just wanted to check in. That's all. That's all. Is that allowed? Is that allowed? And it's reported. It's reported that Bam Adebayo got into a physical altercation with Tyler Hero in Vegas on Friday, which Bam punched Tyler Hero in the face. They ain't teammates no more, so is that allowed? Asking for a friend. But on another note, Charlemagne and Academics, they linked up, and Academics pressed them a little bit. Let's talk about it.
Maybe you really like the fact worse than two. You know how much litigation they've had just alone in Jersey? But the mere fact is this. Y'all took Drake, and these are entities that y'all don't really like, and y'all are saying these are 4 to 5 lawsuits. We've not seen them litigated. One was in Virginia, just got thrown out. They're also making claims, and this is where I said, like, if it was someone that you weren't worse than, I don't know, maybe you really like the fact worse than two. You know how much litigation they've had just alone in Jersey? But the mere fact is this. Y'all took Drake, and these are entities that y'all don't really like, and y'all are saying these are 4 to 5 lawsuits. We've not seen them litigated. One was in Virginia, just got thrown out.
Interesting. What they talking about? Drizzy? Come on, man. Do we got to talk about it? He said it. I ain't say nothing. Can we talk about it? Regardless, though, I got one more thing that we got to touch on. I was just curious about that. I was just curious. They sending voice notes? Hold on. I ain't see this. Hold on. Y'all think this true, though? Because I've been seeing this around, too. Hold on. Going back to the LeBron topic for 2 seconds. LeBron's leading suitors have sent voice notes to his agent, Rich Paul, to relay messages to LeBron James. Cavs, Heat, Warriors, Timberwolves, and 76ers are among the teams to send voice notes. What y'all sending voice notes to LeBron for? Yeah, we know he ain't taking no in-person meetings right now because, you know, he living his best life, but y'all think that's going to help? Yes, we're going to see. But let me know in the chat once again, where y'all want Brown to go? I'm curious. Where y'all want him to go? I just want to know. I'm asking for a friend. All right. LeBron ain't going to Cleveland. I can tell you that. The Warriors getting Brown. Will it happen? Can it happen? My goodness. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. It's about to get scary out here, man. How did y'all feel about future album that he dropped last night, though? On a side note, before we get into the next topic. How do y'all feel about that? I'm just asking for a friend. Asking for a friend. Continuing to top down the NFL's top 100 players. SO to him. SO to the NFL's top 100 players real quick. While we on the subject, Zay Flowers, number 71. Jordan Love came in at number 72. Zach Allen came in at number 74. Josh Jacobs came in at number 74. Zach Allen came in as number 73. Buda Baker, 75. J.C. Horn, 76. Baker Mayfield, 77. Josh Sweat, 78. Travis Kelce, 79. And then that boy. Why is that boy? Hold on. I ain't going to let him do me like that. A.J. Brown, 80. I knew it was A.J. Brown, too. I just had to double check. I don't know why. But anyway. That's into the NFL. Because I'm ready for the NFL season. I ain't going to lie to y'all. Hey, y'all know we a few weeks away from the NFL season? You know it's right around the corner, right? You know I can't wait for it, right? You know when they come around, we're going to be locked and loaded even more, right? You know it's going to be a lot more NFL topics to be talked about. You know that? Hey. That boy Deshaun Watson out here putting in work. That boy Shador Sanders out here putting in work. J.J. McCartney. Kyle Murray. Tua Tagovailoa. Michael Penix. Some of the topics of the quarterbacks that we talked and discussed a few episodes ago. Hey. That boy Shador Sanders out here putting in that work. Out here putting in that work, trying to be great. He out here putting in that work. I was gonna go ahead spit a little something, wasn't I? Hey, that's so to him, bro. It starts with the work. Shador Sanders, it starts with the work. And I heard a great take yesterday from Mikey McNuggets from the Ultimate Cleveland Browns. He had a hell of a take. I'm going to play it for y'all real quick. Wasn't going to talk about Shador Sanders today, but shit, we already here, so why not? Right.
I wasn't at any of the minicamp OTAs practices. They happened during the show, which is why we're not able to get out there. So I'm just going off what Mary Kay said, what you have said, and whether his arm fatigued or not.
So what they're talking about, Mary Kay Cabot, you know, she always saying this, she always saying that. Mary Kay Cabot, she needs to get a mic taken. She needs to get off of Twitter. They need to revoke her license to talk about the NFL. She is a legend, though, out here. She was one of the first female NFL sports writers to do it in Cleveland. And, you know, she out here doing her thing, living her best life. But Mary Kay, you be talking a little too much. Because she said that his arm was looking a little fatigued. And that's what called my guy Michael McNuggets to respond.
Not the
like
fact that
he's
this
doing
is
right now.
even a conversation in the beginning of July before training camp opens up tells me that the Browns have one and one option only at quarterback, and that's Shedeur Sanders. Because if Mary Kay and her vision and observation of the fatigue is real, the fact that she's even mentioning it means she saw something. Watson said he was 100% healthy. Fatigue doesn't necessarily count as an injury. He's not saying he's lying. I don't know the truth. All I know is in minicamp, Zach, answer me yes or no. Can quarterbacks get hit?
No.
Are quarterbacks facing live pressure?
No.
Are quarterbacks making a ton of throws that they wouldn't normally make at any other time?
No, not really.
There's no reason for his shoulder to be fatigued in minicamp. So what happens when training camp happens? And there's more of a competition. There's more emphasis on the accuracy and the zip and the ability to fit things into tight windows. And then we get to preseason where guess what? You can get hit. And then you look at his track record with the 2 Achilles tears, with an ACL tear back in Houston, with the weird shoulder injury that there's never been a precedent for in the NFL. And you add all that together, and I'm thinking to myself saying, there's not a chance in hell this guy is going to be healthy enough to survive an entire season, rather less maybe 1 or 2 games.
Bruh, have I not been saying that all along?
Of an NFL season.
I'm going to let you
That's
finish,
the
though.
outcome. If Deshaun's body, for a million different reasons, just simply isn't able to stand up and hold up during the rigors of an NFL season, then just play Shedeur, see what you got, and then make a determination at the end of the 2026 season whether or not he's the quarterback moving forward.
Whoa. Now y'all want to play Shedeur? Oh, y'all heard Deshaun Watson arm getting a little tired out here. What? We ain't even hitting with pads yet. In training camp, y'all were just out there just throwing the ball around a little bit. Wasn't no real work being put in. So what y'all saying? Shedeur, now y'all want him to be the guy? Now he's next up? Man, you see how quick the tide changes?
Or whether you have to go out and draft or find another one. There's no benefit to playing Deshaun Watson if he can't stay healthy.
Whoa. Not only is there's no benefit in playing Deshaun Watson if you can't stay healthy, there's no benefit in playing Deshaun Watson at all, period. Deshaun Watson hasn't been good since 2020. Deshaun Watson is coming off of not only a shoulder injury, he's coming off of 2 Achilles tears. Deshaun Watson, at the end of the day, dog, what's the point in playing him? Yes, you're paying him $40 million this season, but you already been paying him, and he hasn't done nothing for you. Yes, you can say, what's one more season then? But you have a young quarterback in Shedeur Sanders, and you have 2 first-round draft picks next year. Why sit and wait to see what you have in Deshaun Watson when it doesn't matter? You ain't going to re-sign him. You ain't going to extend him. Right? So what's the point? You already traded Myles Garrett. So you traded Myles Garrett, basically said that, hey, at the end of the day, we're going younger. We're rebuilding. We're revamping. Last year in the draft, we killed it. Got Harold Fannin. Got Quinton Junctions. Got Mason Graham. Got Carson Schlesinger. Dogs. Pillars that's going to be leaders in the locker room for years to come in Cleveland. This year, got Casey Concepcion. Got Fano, offensive lineman. Got Denzel Boston, another wide receiver to go with Casey Concepcion. Got Barber from Florida. Cleveland, y'all are going younger. Y'all are making strides in the right direction. Revamped offensive line when you went and got Elton Jenkins, right? You went and got Howard. You got a whole new offensive line. You got more weapons on offense for Shedeur Sanders. So why not let him have the whole year? Clean slate. Why not? Why not? Why not give him the whole year? Why not? I'm just asking for a friend. I'm curious. Why not give him the whole year? Why not let him have the runway and see what he really got? What he can really do out here? Give him an opportunity, give him a chance. Let him go out here and prove, hey, can you be a real quarterback in the NFL with an actual halfway decent offensive line and halfway decent offensive weapons? Can you at least win us 7 to 8 games this season? So that way, next year in the draft, we don't have to draft a quarterback. We don't have to sell all these picks away to try to move up in the draft to try to get a quarterback that we're going to take a flyer on that might not even pan out. What we can do instead, we can grab another offensive weapon. Maybe get that boy from Ohio State who's been killing it at wide receiver. You know who I'm talking about. Maybe go ahead and get a defensive lineman or two who expected to be top 5 in this year's draft. Y'all know the names. Should we do that? Or do we got to spend some of that on the quarterback? Spend some of that moving up in the draft to try to go get our quarterback. When our lottery ticket is sitting right here in Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders is a lottery ticket. Because if he pans out, he's on a rookie contract. Don't got to pay him for at least another 2 years. Bruh, let him go out here and ball and see if he's the guy. I'm going to let you finish, Mikey McNuggets.
And if we're even having remote discussions on him showing shoulder fatigue in a situation where he should be the most fresh he is all season, then where are we going to be at in September after a game where this remade offensive line may or may not be able to protect him to the level that's needed? Where are we going to be at in October? There's no way that ends well. There's no way. Maybe 0.0000001% chance. And if that's the case, wrists up, play Shedeur. What are we waiting for?
Stop playing with him. Now y'all coming along to my side. Come on. Hey, the bandwagon's still open. You feel me? The door is still open for y'all to come on and actually start using y'all brains a little bit. It's still open for you to make the right decision. It's still time for y'all to say, hey, maybe Shedeur Sanders, you feel me? Maybe he actually deserves a free runway. Maybe he actually should get an actual real shot at this thing. But you got people out here with crazy ass takes, dumb takes, random takes, and saying things like this. Should I show it? Y'all want to see one more clip? Why not? I got time. I got time today.
There's been some things circulating out there that the Cleveland Browns could be moving on from their second-year quarterback. That we all know that they're going to be looking for a quarterback in the 27 draft. They have a lot of ammo. In the future, quarterback for the Cleveland Browns is not currently on the roster. We'll see. Because right now, he's making up ground. He has closed the gap. I would say Deshaun Watson in the spring, to my understanding, was probably in the lead. And there's a lot of people that think they're going to start the season with Deshaun Watson over Shedeur Sanders because it's easier to go from Deshaun to Shedeur as opposed to the other way around. I think there are plenty of people that think if it's close, you go with the guy who's under contract for a number of years, you have a small investment into, and you got to see what you can get out of him before you decide to 100% move into a different path for a quarterback.
Doesn't that make the most sense? Doing it that way? Asking for a friend. Doesn't that make the most sense to just do it that
27.
way? Okay.
But there also is the school of thought that Deshaun Watson, you've invested enough time, money, draft picks, capital, all of that. You might as well really see what he's got one last year while he's under your control. But Shedeur Sanders has closed the gap. He is improving in terms of his pocket presence, in terms of going through his progressions, all the stuff that you need to play effective NFL quarterback. We know that he's an accurate quarterback when he's on his game. We know that there were question marks, obviously, about him coming in, which is why he was a 5th-round pick. But he has really shown improvement. He has worked hard while he's in the building. He's been a good teammate. He's been a guy that is really trying to improve and work hard. I think what we're forgetting here is he didn't really operate under center when he was in college. That was a big adjustment that he had to go through, that he was really a developmental prospect. When teams really dug deep into all of the tape, there were a lot of question marks in terms of how much anticipation does he play with. The arm strength isn't outstanding. He's got slow feet. He seems to be slow in terms of how he plays the entire game in some capacity. Yes, he is a very accurate player, but there's developmental aspects because he didn't play in a conventional offense as well that you'd like to see him go out and improve on. Those were all part of the process. They're seeing him improve on these things. My understanding is they don't have any intention on trading Shedeur Sanders. I think both these quarterbacks are most likely going to be on the Browns roster come the start of the season.
Duh. Thanks for pointing out the obvious, Mr. Obvious.
And they both could be on the roster for the duration of the season. He is a player that they're seeing improve, that they have under control for the next several years, and don't have a heavy financial commitment into. He has not caused any problems behind the scenes in the building that would force them to part ways with him by any stretch. So I just think any rumors that are out there of the Browns wanting to move on from Shedeur Sanders, I think they've enjoyed the process right now in the spring, and they're watching a developmental prospect to do exactly that, and that is develop. And why wouldn't you want that development to continue in your building when you have him for the next several years? So
don't got him for the next several years. You're lying, first of all. But you made a couple great points. They have him for the next 3 years because Shedeur Sanders didn't sign the regular rookie deal because you got to remember, he was a 5th-round pick. So instead of getting a 4-year contract or a 5-year contract like some of the other NFL players get, because technically in the NFL, after you come and you're in the NFL draft, if you're in the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd round, typically you usually get a 4-year, however million dollar deal. Right? 4-year, however many millions, right? Right. Then you get a 5th year, potentially, franchise or player option. Then you potentially get another 6-year franchise or player option. But usually, most teams, they extend you after your 3rd good season in the league, right? You play 3 good seasons in the league, they'll extend you for that 4th season. That's when you really get paid, right? Shedeur Sanders, he was a 5th-round pick. They only got him for 3 years, right? And then that 4th year is not the same like these other players. Look in the contract and you will see it, my guy. I would break it down even further, but we ain't here to talk about all that. All right? We just here, to hear your take, hear those few good points that I've already been making, and hear somebody else say that they're not going to trade Shedeur goddamn Sanders. Fucking duh. Why would you? You had Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders. Why would you get rid of Shedeur Sanders? He's young. It looks seemingly close in a quarterback competition where your head coach came out and said, we have 2 starting quarterbacks. 2 quarterbacks that could potentially start in this league. If the competition is close, you go with the young guy. That's how football works. Any competition is close, you go with the young guy to see their potential, see where they're at. Yeah, you can go with the old savvy vet, potentially. So it's easier to go to Shedeur Sanders, if the savvy vet doesn't do well. Yes, that's an option too. That's a way to go too. But the quarterback position, it's a little different. It's a little different. Damn near in most positions, it's a little different. Go with the younger guy. Then you can always go back to the older dude because he's proven. He's a vet. You know what he can do if you get in there and handle it. You're trying to see if you have a future franchise quarterback. So give him the goddamn runway to see if he can be a franchise quarterback. There won't be no excuses if he starts. There's no excuses at all. Shedeur Sanders starts, it's your show. You go, you dominate, you do well, you got the keys to the office. You got the keys to Cleveland. Let him see if he can ball. Let him see if he's really him. If he can prove the doubters, the naysayers wrong, like we all expect him to. You feel me? So, we shall see. We shall see. Yeah. We shall see. Regardless, though, I love you. I appreciate you. I just need you to do me a favor. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. And stop playing with me out here. Show me some love. Got a lot of ghost watchers in here. Don't be a ghost watcher. Hey, that follow button, hey, it don't cost nothing for you to click on it. That like button, it don't cost you nothing to click on that. It don't. It don't. So if you popping in here, go ahead and show me some love. Come on now. If it was your stream, you know I'll be showing you some love. If you want me to go ahead and show you some love in your stream, hey, just let me know. I got no problem with doing that. No problem at all, big dog. No problem at all. You love me, I love you more. You feel me? You trying to be great, I'm trying to be great too. Because you know something? I want to be like you when I grow up. Like for real, for real. Not even playing. You know? You out here doing big things. I'm trying to get out here and do big things too. You feel me? At the end of the day, though, SO Shador Sanders, SO to the NFL. Y'all made him a Pro Bowler last year because you saw the potential. You saw what he can do. You could have made anybody else a Pro Bowler. You could have even damn near, well, Joe Flacco was a Pro Bowler actually last year because he was there. But you could have did it at any time. Anyway. Man. Crazy out here, dog. Crazy. Regardless. Bam Adebayo out here punching people in the face. Crazy. Is this breaking news? Do we got to talk about it? Tyler Hero coming to the front of the congregation. I know we just got, I hate, talking about the NFL, then talking about the NBA. I love, to talk about multiple NFL topics at the same time. And I love to talk about multiple NBA topics at the same time. But, it is what it is. We got to talk about it. Breaking news from Shams. Boys out here fighting? Man, what's going on in these streets?
Have now former Miami Heat teammates Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero got into a physical altercation on Friday morning here in Las Vegas. Sources tell me that Bam Adebayo struck Tyler Hero in the face area as they were walking off the practice court at a Las Vegas hotel. This happened when Bam Adebayo, I'm told, approached Tyler Hero about comments that Hero made on social media critiquing Bam after Hero was traded from Miami to Milwaukee over the last couple of weeks. And they were teammates for 7 years together. And we know over the last couple of years, Hero's name has been in trade talks. But after some social media comments, Bam Adebayo, I'm told, approached Tyler Hero on it. That's when they got into a confrontation, a back and forth that culminated in Bam Adebayo striking Tyler Hero. Kev, now.
Bam. You and Tyler fighting?
Physical altercation between Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero this morning at a practice session, it seems like at a hotel here.
Dang, is his eye swollen? Asking for a friend. Is it? Hey, Tyler Hero eye
Las
swollen?
Vegas. Man, I was able to speak with the Miami Heat.
Yeah, that eye look a little
to
swollen.
Get comment, and they said they're aware of the incident, but they have no comment moving further. So this is a developing story. Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero. I will say this, that there was a social media post by Tyler Hero a few weeks ago. It was something along the lines of Bam Adebayo's mid-range shooting, something along the lines of that. And so that could have been what caused that altercation, physical altercation.
So that's what Shams is talking about. Tyler Hero, you out here sneak dissing, big dog. And Bam got on that with you. God damn. But hold on, y'all. Did that eye look a little swollen, though? Like for real. Did that eye look a little swollen? I'm just asking. Bam said, hey, Tyler, keep on talking. Hey, Tyler, keep on sneak dissing me on the internet. Y'all used to be teammates. Hey. Crazy. That's on Tyler Hero, though. I don't think that eye looked too swollen. You made it out of one piece. That's all that matters. Because Bam big as hell. I wouldn't want to get punched by him. I'm not going to lie to you. Not going to lie to you. But, hey, you took it like a champ, though. I see you out here, big guy. I see you. I see you. But anyway, I just wanted to touch on that because it was blowing up the feed, man, a little bit everywhere. Get your popcorn ready because Cameron Bruiser takes on Caleb Wilson tonight as the Grizzlies take on the Bulls in the Summer League game, which I'm going to be tuned into because I want to see that boy Caleb Wilson. You got the number 4 pick, number 3 pick. Caleb Wilson said he should have went first overall. Hey, maybe you should have. Prove it tonight. Cuzzo said he should have went first overall. Cuz I texted you about this and I told your ass in person. Go out here and bust their ass tonight. You know what we talked about. Hey, as on the Caleb Wilson, man. What's my last name again? Oh, okay. You know, yeah, when you know people in the league, man, you hit a little different, man. That's all my cuz, though. Hop in your bag tonight. Obviously, I ain't going to be in the game, at the game, but I'm going to be watching. I'll text you after, though. I'm telling you, we trying to get an interview with him. He being an asshole right now, but we gonna work it out. That's what the Caleb. That's what the cuz, though. That's up to you, my guy. That's up to you. What's my last name again? I'm just asking. That's for a friend. Anyway, that's up to him. Should be a great game tonight, though. Should be a lot of people locked in. Number 4 pick playing the number 3 pick. Cameron Bruiser playing Caleb Wilson. Bring your popcorn, baby. Bring your popcorn. But on that note, it's been fun. It's been real. But we got one more topic to talk about. We got one more thing to talk about. The disrespect of Caitlin Clark and the WNBA, is it getting out of control? Last topic. Let's get into it. Talk to me, girl.
Also kind of crazy. Like, I wholeheartedly believe that there needs to be some rules with the WNBA players because this is getting out of hand. Caitlin Clark voted 11th best guard by WNBA players. That's crazy. Kelsey Plum finished 12th in player rank, but she be percolating all over your defense. You be chasing her downhill off screen.
It's unserious work.
It's kind of crazy. Like I wholeheartedly believe. I think people need to look at themselves in the mirror and realize, like, man, you got some insecurities if you sitting down and putting Caitlin Clark as the 11th best guard. Y'all need to go to a therapist and figure out what childhood issues you have. Because if you're sitting there and looking at yourself in the mirror and putting her as 11th best guard, and you're putting you as 8th best, like, come on. And Kelsey Plum is the 12th. Now, maybe games because she's been hurt. This is crazy.
Those are peers. Those are peers. Those are peers. Her peers. You feel me? Even they saying it's getting a little wild out here. That they hating out here a little bit too much on Caitlin Clark. Bruh, do y'all agree? Do y'all agree? Bruh, it's interesting, dog. It's interesting. Because y'all hating on the girl when all she did was put money in y'all pockets. All she did was make y'all richer. All she did was bring more eyes and more spotlight to your sport. All she did was show y'all love time after time, again and again. Hey. That's all to Caitlin Clark. That's so to Caitlin Clark. But stop playing. She ain't top 4 in the league. She ain't top 3 in the league. But she definitely ain't 11th. Some of your NBA players ranking her 11th. She at least top 10. Bare minimum. Top 5? Damn near. Because who's better than her? Give me a list.
So I want to make sure that we're sort of clear on the nuance of the voting here, right?
Give me the
That's an
list.
important part of this. They didn't say that she was the 11th best guard in the WNBA. That's not what happened. As you mentioned, a lot of people didn't get ballots. A lot of people didn't vote. But what they did, they voted for the top 4 guards in the league. That was what the All-Star ballot was. So people were voting for top 4. I don't think that you can make a compelling argument that Caitlin Clark is a top 4 guard in the WNBA. Like, nobody can at this point. That is why she was 11. She got the 11th most votes for being in the top 4. So there's really no controversy about that, because especially when you add in the fact that she is one of the most popular players in the WNBA. She's going to make the All-Star team. That is not the argument here. I think what bothers me is when this is framed as some sort of like petty jealousy or insecurity by these women in the WNBA, because that's not what I'm seeing was happening with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is experiencing pretty much what happens anytime a young player comes into the league with a lot of hype, especially the hype that she's receiving that says all of these, the whole entire league basically should be thankful that she's there. She's going to be the best player that you've ever seen. Whenever this happens in any league, in any sport, in any gender, there is backlash to that, because there are players who are there who are saying, we built this, show me what you got. And they target that player. That happens all the time. Michael Jordan had the freeze out in the Olympics. They would not pass him the ball. LeBron James, when he got in the league and he was the chosen one, they were physical with LeBron James. When we're talking about Wemby right now, we're talking about a guy, the best way to attack him is with physicality and to beat him up. Candace Parker was in the middle of a riot in the middle of a WNBA game in her rookie year because they were attacking her because she was coming in as a prospective GOAT in the league. This happens. Angel Reese, by the way, is somebody who came in with Caitlin Clark, who has experienced flagrant twos, who Alyssa Thomas also basically chokeslammed and threw on the ground last year. Like, this is something that happens across sports. And Caitlin Clark, to her credit, is not somebody who is going out there and begging for something to be done. When this play happened, she got up and ran back to the other side of the court because Caitlin Clark just wants to play basketball. She doesn't want congressional hearings about her being fouled. She doesn't want you to call in the National Guard when there is a foul on her. She wants to play basketball. She wants to deal with the physicality. She just wants it called correctly. And the WNBA has a referee problem where they're not calling these across the board. But this is not some issue where she is a victim of anything. If anything, she is a victim of people using her in bad faith and using her to target these women when Caitlin Clark herself just wants to play basketball.
Well, David.
Hell of a take, my guy. Hell of a take. Do y'all agree? Caitlin just want to play ball? Caitlin just trying to, be in her own lane, stay in her own lane, and just stay out the way? Asking for a friend. Caitlin Clark. Is she the key? Is she key? Because the thing is, Caitlin Clark ain't even playing right now. She on the sideline while the fever keep on getting better. So is she really the GOAT player? Is she really the best player that people didn't see? Is she? I'm just asking for a friend. Is she really her? I'm just asking for a friend. At the end of the day, we shall see, man. We shall see. Let's hear exactly what Caitlin had to say after. If you don't remember, Caitlin Clark, they got punched in the throat. Yeah, she did. Do I got to pull up the image again? Y'all remember when she got punched in the throat? Like, I'm not even playing. Like, she literally got punched. It was a real thing. She got punched in the throat. Y'all remember that? I'll show the image again since everybody acting like they got a little amnesia. Everybody acting like they don't remember nothing. You know, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good, okay? It's okay. It's okay. You act like you don't remember. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. Alyssa Thomas about strong as hell, though, boy. Hey, she been in the gym, boy. She's stronger than some of y'all males out here. I'm not even going to lie to you. This is Caitlin Clark getting punched in the throat. So, Caitlin Clark, what did you have to say about that? And then we're going to wrap this all up in one nice little bow. Let's see it.
A lot of questions, and obviously I haven't been available for like a week or so. So, first of all, I know what you guys are going to ask, and I did think it was a flagrant foul. And our reffing just needs to be better. And, it's tough. Obviously, the refs are in a really difficult spot. It's one of the hardest jobs in the world, in my opinion, is to make calls. All you do is get yelled at the whole time by everybody. You're never winning. So I think for us, like, as the league's just got to do better protecting our players in that regard. I don't really think that it was up for debate. Obviously, it wasn't called in real time. You go back and watch the clip. I think it's pretty straightforward. It's kind of been a discussion for like 3 years now, and I think we really need to do a better job protecting the people in this league. And, obviously I've been involved in a few of those plays, but there's been plenty others across the league that, haven't got called, go back and post game or whatever it is. Teams submit clips, nothing really changes. So I think overall the league just has to do better, and we have to invest in those areas. The technology can get better. We can treat the referees a little bit better, pay them like they're full-time employees. I think things like that. And, I think a lot has obviously come after that. And as I've stood up here and said before, like the harassment, the hate, none of that is okay. That goes for the opposing team we play. That goes for my teammates. That goes for my coaches. There should never be question of character. Like I've always stood up here and said that, and that's truly what I believe. That's how I was raised. So, none of that is okay. And I don't want anybody to ever experience that. I think it can be really frustrating to me at times. And I think it's difficult. I think a lot of people sometimes think I'm a robot. I'm not a robot. I have emotions. I have feelings. And it can be really difficult to go through a lot of that. And, I'm 24 years old trying to navigate a lot. And I think at times I've been in this world for 4 years now, and you would never change any of it. But there are times that it is hard. And there are times that, it probably affects me a little bit more than I do put on. And, I would never change any of that for the world. But I think it's important that people do remember that part of it too. So, at the same time, it's really interesting to me because, even I turned the TV on Sunday and that game was on Wednesday, and that's all people are still talking about. And I feel like that's just a real disservice to our league. And I get it. You talk about it. You talk about whether it's flagrant, you talk about whatever it is, but to continue to beat down, and then for the narrative to be taken other places that is really just that's just really not acceptable. I think it's hard to see, and it's a disservice to my team, but it's also a disservice to the other teams in this league and other players in this league. There's so much amazing talent, and there's so many amazing players that are playing at an incredibly high rate. And I remember, I think it was Sunday or Saturday, whatever day that was. I remember watching them discuss it on TV, and I didn't know they were going to discuss it. I was just watching the other games because I try to watch as much as I can. And I honestly felt bad for the players that were playing in the games those days. And also I felt bad for my teammates. They played on Friday and they dominated and they played really well, and nobody wanted to talk about that. They were just worried about everything else. So, and there had been, I think 10 plus other games that had already happened to that point. So, I think it's all of our jobs to help refocus the narratives a lot of the times, and we can do better at that. And I think it'll help our game grow a lot more. And that goes for obviously the fever and whatever. But at the same time, you guys are here in this arena every time we play. And the amount of people that are passionate and love the game and respect the other team, and the young girls and the young boys that show up, we can't lose sight of that. And that's whether we're here at home and whether we're on the road. And, there's a lot of really, really great people that, love this league and love our organization. And, I'm thankful to be here in an organization that has my back and will always stand up for me. And, I think we can't ever lose sight of that. The joy and the fire and the fun, Well,
God damn, Kayla, you gonna let him ask a question? All right, my bad, y'all. I'm going to let her finish. But, dog, I know the reporter's like, bruh, I got like 5 questions I wanted to ask you. And you've been talking for about 4-5 minutes. But anyway, that's on the Caitlin Clark, man. That's on the Caitlin. We're going to let her finish.
That's why you play this game. And I think it kind of goes back to a little bit of my frustration. Like, I remember seeing a headline is like, and I don't remember who wrote this, and I try to stay away from social media as much as I can, but sometimes it can be hard. Like, I need to be aware of certain things, and obviously my team makes me aware of certain things. And it was like, the headline read like, this season has been everything but fun, and they're just full of frustration for Clark and the Fever. And I'm like, no one ever asked me that. Nobody ever asked me that. Like, that's wrong. Like, they're like, discuss my play. Discuss if I played bad. Discuss if I played good. Like, discuss our play. And at times I understand there's other things that need to be talked about. Great, whatever. But let's continue to move on and, you know, things like that. And, but I think just focusing on the joy and the amazing parts of this game, like I said, I think it's sometimes a disservice to not only our team, but to everybody else. And, you know, let's get back to a lot more smiling and positivity. I think our world could use a lot of that. And then moving on, I know everybody's going to ask about my health. I will be out Sunday, but I'm feeling a lot better, excited to get back into practice today. And then feeling really, really positive about getting back into one of the games at the back-to-back. Obviously difficult coming back in a back-to-back, so we'll have to be cautious of that. But I feel a lot better. And like I said, excited to get back into practice. And this week has been very helpful for my overall health. So other than that, if you guys have any questions, I know I kind of just ranted for a while, but
Nah, bro, you ran it for not a while, for 5 minutes, Caitlin. Hey, but I love it. I love her attitude about the game. I love her approach. She said a lot of good and great things. You know, the focus should be more on, you know, what's going on in the NBA and how well the game is actually thriving, and, you know, the weight and the, the new deal that the ladies just got, the new contracts. Now ladies getting paid over $1 million. Eso to Asia Wilson, first millionaire player in the league. Yeah, bruh. Or first $1 million contract in the league. Like, at the end of the day, Caitlin, you made a lot of great points. Made a lot of great points. At the end of the day, though, you're polarizing. At the end of the day, though, you are a figure that your name rings. Your name rings loud. Two at that. So with your name ringing as loud as it's going to ring, hey, guess what? It's what comes with it. Pay no attention to us, though. Pay no attention to the media. Pay no attention to what they're saying. Just go out there and ball and be great, just like you normally do. Point blank, period. That's what it comes down to. Go be great. No matter what I say, he say, they say. No matter what you do on that court. We want to see you more on that court. We want to see you dominate. We want to see you damn near take the reins of the WNBA. You've been injured a lot. You're injured now. We want to see you playing a full season. We want to see you taking that same game and energy and same polarizing, dominance that you had in college. We want to see you now take that into the WNBA consistently. And I think that when you do that consistently, the other girls will have no other choice but to get out of the way and respect it. Because game respect game. Right now, they just saying, oh, she hyped up. Everybody look at her as she should be our savior. It's because of her that we're getting this and getting that, not because of our skill and not because we've been working our ass off to develop the league for 30, 20 plus years, however long it's been. You feel me? So when you start balling, Caitlin, everything else will take care of itself. When you start winning championships, everything else is going to take care of itself. When you start winning MVPs, everything else going to take care of itself. But until that point, until you reach that, until your team not going 4-0 without you being on the court, just saying, that's a fact. It's going to be the same narrative. It's going to be the same thing over and over. You're going to be the one center focus and attention that people talk about. Because you got to continue to show up and show why you're her. Show why you're rightfully so the polarizing figure that everybody's waiting and been waiting on in the WNBA. Show everybody why you the moneymaker. We just need you being on the court consistently, staying healthy consistently. Obviously, you can't control your body, but, that's what it's going to come down to. Point blank, period. Eso to Caitlin Clark, though. Eso to y'all in the chat. Hey, I love you. I appreciate you. We always going to talk about it. We always, going to hop into the subjects. whether it's us talking about Nolan, Wells today, getting the elephant out of the room, having that real discussion, that conversation that went on for damn near an hour earlier in the stream. Go ahead, fast forward, look at that if you want to. Or whether it's talking about LeBron again and some of the critics talking about him ring chasing and some of the things that he has going on. Whether it's us talking about Jalen Brunson, him getting a bag for his jersey, not him getting a bag because he ain't get the bag, but his jersey selling for over $1 million. Whether it's us also talking about goddamn Donovan Mitchell and if he deserves his money. Or even us hitting on Caitlin Clark. Talking about Shedeur Sanders in the NFL. All the topics that we talked about today, if you stayed tuned in and locked in the whole episode, I appreciate you, baby. If you didn't, you've been popping in and out, hey, I appreciate you. It don't matter. I appreciate you any way you slice it. This is the climb to the top, baby. It takes time, though. It takes time. I've been on here for a while with y'all. I ain't going to lie to you. It's been a minute. Boys got a lot to do tonight. Got to go ahead and go get my groove on, you feel me? Boys got to go out of town. We got some things on the horizon. But I'm going to be back. I'm going to be on the go. We're going to be on the move. But, hey, anytime I pop up in the studio, make sure you pop in. All right, I'll pop in, you pop out. I pop out, you pop in. All right? But it's really, whenever I pop in, you got to pop out. You feel me? Or whenever I pop out, you got to pop in. All right? So really it's that. When I pop out on here, you got to pop in. Show me some love. Blow up the chat. Show some love to the community. All right? Go to them Gemz Media. We here, we live, we well. A lot going on. A lot of things coming. Stock Wednesday, first edition. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I will be consistent. You never know when I'm going to pop up on your screens. But just know whenever I pop out, you got to pop in here. You feel me? But regardless, I love you. I appreciate you. Go out here, live your best life. Go out here, have a little fun. Whatever you do, be safe. Enjoy your weekend. Stay blessed out here. I appreciate you. Hey, and just know we on our way. Not only am I on my way, you on your way. Keep grinding. Keep showing up every day. And keep going after everything that you want. Day by day, brick by brick. Keep stacking. One day at a time. I promise you, you might not be where you want to be today. That's okay. You might not be where you want to be next week. That's okay. You might not be where you want to be next month or next year. And that's okay. But I need you to understand this for me. You on your goddamn way. So keep showing up. Keep putting in the work. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I promise you, it's only in due time that you're going to get what you ultimately deserve and you're going to get what you want. So, hey, I need you to do me a favor. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that follow button. And make sure you send this to your mama, your daddy, your best friend, friend of another friend, Lil Johnny, Lil Timmy, and Lil Susie. Don't forget about her too. And Lil Josh, who just moved up the corner around the block. You know you can't keep all these gems to yourself. You know he want these gems too. All right, so make sure you send this to everybody. I appreciate you in advance. I love you. I'm grateful for you. I'm thankful. But on that note, guess what? We out. Deuces.
Hey, we live now, really.